Why, hello there. Welcome to Gaming with the Guys, Bungles After Dark. This is your host, as always, Gaming Jason, in my super sexy, sultry voice, Triple S, I think. And today's episode, we will be talking not top three, we'll be talking theme talks. And today's theme, like last episode, we'll be talking Jung. And as always, I'll be joined by my partner in crime, Gaming Greg.
Hello there, gamers. Good to see everybody. I see my partner, Gaming Jason, is babysitting again, and my grandson, Gaming K, is soon to be Gaming K, pre-Gaming K. I don't know. He's getting feisty.
Yeah.
So, did someone say the evil name of the evil figure?
No, nobody said that. I think he's still kind of a little bit distraught on Man U's performance this last weekend in the Premier League.
I would be upset too. It was terrible.
Not as bad as Chelsea. That was some bullshit.
I didn't see that game because, well,
it
wasn't involved in
a good game.
I'm sure it was. Liverpool at least tied today. They almost lost.
I saw that. I saw the highlights of that game and the red card. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, you know,
it wasn't a Zidane though. I was really kind of hoping for that.
It was no, I don't even think his head landed against that guy from Liverpool. It was a very Shaq-esque dive the guy took, but prior to that, he had kind of butted him in the head a couple times, which is what caused the confrontation in the first place afterwards. So, whatever.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, hey, let's actually make sure that we get our third opinion / important opinion here.
Yeah, the one
Grand
who
Master
has
Cody.
Yeah, the one who is a Grand Master.
It is me.
Who dressed up as a pirate.
Yeah, I'm dressed up again, this time with more bad jokes. So, how much did the pirate pay for his earrings?
Hang on. How much did the pirate pay for his earrings? He paid
an arm and a leg?
No, a buck an ear.
Oh. Yes.
Hey,
you come for the dad jokes, you stay for the themes. That's at least what we're hoping.
That's our new slogan.
Yes, I know, Kai. It's okay. It's okay. It was a terrible joke, but we'll live with it. It's all right.
It was beautiful. I loved it.
It was beautiful. We've got a lot to cover tonight. To be perfectly honest, we are doing Jung Themes, and as we were putting this together, I suddenly realized that, holy crap, they have 5 themes.
Yep.
I think it's the most that any faction has.
No, Savage Wave has got 5 also, because in our content discussions, I got themes and talks confused, and I was like, oh damn, Savage Wave's got 5 themes, and then yeah.
So 5 themes to go through. So we'll try to keep the pre-theme talk chit chat to a minimum, which, to be perfectly honest, isn't that hard this week. I mean, we're in a post Gen Con funk, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I've seen a couple videos and people kind of just going over their hauls from Gen Con, but nothing major on my end, or at least as far as what I've heard from the Privateer Press, miniature mispack, which I know Cody said that
Cody's got more information on that
about that, and I guess that wasn't the case, or to be determined.
Yeah, I still haven't seen anything, but they did just put something out basically saying that there's basically a 1% chance that you'll get uncured or liquid resin, but some parts might be
unfinished
under, how did they say it? I don't remember the exact terminology because I call it curing. When the resin gets hardened, which they're just like, if you get a piece like that, let us know. Otherwise, stick it in the sunlight for a couple minutes and recheck, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I guess there's that, but if they said put it in the sunlight instead of just no, just let us take care of it. That's kind of a little bit odd.
Well, no, they're giving the light cures it, but I mean, it's drying in the UV light. No one necessarily has the, for some of the resins, they use those UV lights to really harden it really quick.
Or just get yourself one of these, little UV flashlight. I'm not going to blind people with it.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Put it on strobe.
Yeah.
Now I got to put one of those disclaimers, if you're seizure prone or something like that, do not watch this video. Maybe I'll put the time slot in so that way someone could really mess it up. Ooh, a time slot 15:30. I'm going to have my dad come in and click. And then we'll be famous in a different way.
Yeah.
Yep. We don't need to be that kind of famous.
No.
And, they may say any press is good press, but yeah, no, I don't think
Only
so.
if you're selling something is good press, is any press good press. Anything else outside of selling crap, then no, you got to watch it.
We are selling our charm and our wit.
And
Until
our bad jokes.
Until PepsiCo gives us that damn mini fridge, I don't believe it.
I
one
know what
of
I'm getting you
those.
for Christmas, but we ain't getting one for free.
I mean, Flamin' Hot Cheeto mini fridge. If PepsiCo's listening, we got you guys.
If you got that's Frito-Lay that does Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Yeah, and Frito-Lay is owned by PepsiCo.
Ooh.
So just give us a combination. It's a mini fridge, and then up top is a
nacho
chip
cheese
bag
warmer.
dispenser. Ooh, a nacho cheese warmer too. Yeah, let's just get diabetes and die right now.
Well, there you go. I'm halfway there, I think, with the breakfasts that I eat, which is all children's cereal.
That's American breakfast in general.
Yeah, I had a healthy breakfast of Frosted Flakes, and because we ran out of Captain Crunch.
I had a healthy breakfast of coffee. That was it. Just coffee.
It's just coffee.
Just
I
coffee.
know. Kai's really disgusted with that. You should eat better.
I should.
So that was the big War Machine news. I think they've got the beta rules out. I may go over the War Machine stuff. Just again, I'm really reluctant if I want to get dragged down into that hole.
I think it's the same thing when we got out of 40K. We didn't swear it off, but we did kind of be like, it's got to be like a lot to get us back in. When we kind of like walked away from 40K.
The difference with 40K is we still had all the 40K stuff. I have sold all of my War Machine stuff.
Well, there's that too, but I mean, still.
Yeah, I don't know how deep I'm going to dive into that, but it's not a new game, but it's a very interesting game, and it's called Moonstone.
I've heard of that one. Yeah.
So I did pick up the 2-player starter set for that.
Coming to a video near you soon, maybe?
Possibly. That one's very intriguing because it wants you to play anywhere from 2 to 4 players, and the game length is only 4 turns.
Yeah, I've watched. I watched on Gorilla Miniature Gaming. Ash had a demo of it. It looks like it plays quick. I also saw that it's really combo heavy, so I'm kind of like,
I don't think I would ever do it like if there was ever a competitive scene with it. But as just hey, we don't have time to necessarily play another game of Bushido, we can just throw that down basically with the same terrain and just have fun at the store,
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with Arena Rex too. But, there's lots of those little filler games. And again, Bushido's there. I mean, I'll say the one game I'm looking forward to now. Granted, it is a year out, but I know people who have the old version, and the new version isn't much different. It's just they're finally getting new factions. Is of course, and I've been talking about it from Catalyst Game Labs. Is Leviathans, the Great War. I love the game when it came out, and again, it's essentially by the guys who do BattleTech. It's on the hex base, but it's just I like the idea of it, that steampunk feel, sky ship. Instead of battling on the oceans, you're battling in the skies, and the ships they're pre-painted, but I've seen people do the paint jobs over them. I would probably put them. They're saying that they're going to try to get like X-wing quality paint jobs. If that's true, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
If it's like their old paint jobs, I would put them, for those who remember the old game AT-43, I'd probably put it on par with AT-43 paint jobs.
Well, that's not bad. AT-43, I mean, me personally, I enjoyed those. I mean, depending on what factions they were, but those weren't too bad, like pre-painted models.
The Therians were real easy. Black, red.
Yeah, there's that.
But the red block and the UNA, to be perfectly honest, for 28 mil figures, those were painted pretty damn good for pre-paints.
Yeah.
They were better than
not AT-40, Dust.
Dust were. I didn't think Dust were pre-paints.
No, Dust was pre-painted. Dust, that if I remember them right, those ones were kind of rough. Those ones were like, I want to say no, actually Heroescape was really good on pre-painted, but Dust was pretty bad. They're the ones I think of.
I think they're better than HeroClick. So what I look at is I think AT-43 was better than HeroClick, early HeroClick paint jobs. Yes. Now, I haven't seen the newer HeroClick paint jobs, but the early HeroClicks, they were much better than that. So
that's true.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can't think of, there's lots of the games. I mean, I've got my Drowned Earth. I got my Drowned Earth Kickstarter stuff. I didn't go full in to get the Yulia Chronicles, which is like their whole narrative campaign thing. But I did get my new faction for the Corsairs, and then I picked up a couple odds and ends models.
Same.
And some dinosaurs, because
I got to get the cards still.
Oh, did they? Oh, I got mine.
Yeah.
I think I'm shorted one, but you could always, he's also uploaded the new cards, so you could always print them off. So there's that. Yeah, I can't think of anything else really that's on the horizon.
Nothing really on the horizon, but just in case if people didn't see, I believe Mutaz put up a FAQ in the official news.
Yeah.
Definitely give that a read because it has a lot of great information in it.
Yes, and I think they're making that like one of those things. If you're going to the tournament, that's one of those things to have ready on your phone to kind of scroll through. So thank you, Joe, for putting that together. That's going to be very, very handy, not just for us tournament organizers and whatnot, but I think just for the regular players too, because there's so much.
Oh yeah, I learned a ton when I was reading it the other night. Like that Master Enos can use the Void Monk riffs and whatnot.
Oh, I knew that.
I didn't, but
anybody has. I think Master Yakuza can too.
I don't think so,
because he has Void as one of his elements.
No, well, it's because the character Enos is a Satsui or whatever.
Oh, he is a Satsui in addition to being a monk. Okay,
so
that makes sense then.
But yeah, it's a very well organized document and easy to read.
I would imagine.
Yeah,
when he throws himself into something, he throws himself into it, and so I'm positive it's good stuff.
It is.
Speaking of possibly good stuff, that was a clever segue, right?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that was good. So we're gonna take our stab at themes, and we did our top 3 Jung. So we're naturally going to flow into, well, here are the themes, and what can you possibly build with the themes? Now, what I'll say with this one is aside from Cody, who's played a couple times, this would probably be if you're a new player looking at getting into Jung, or you're a veteran player and no one in your meta has really done Jung, and you haven't experienced Jung. This is pretty much what we did. We have a good idea what we do. And I haven't really cruised the boards too much about Jung on this. But you kind of have a good idea what you're doing with it, what you're going for. I will say that I have 2 themes. Jason has 1 and Cody has 2. I will say for one, I went more for a theme rather than what I would call a competitive list, but I still think it'll play well. We'll find out. But to get things rolling, because he comes in first all the time, especially if I offer a sword.
Yep, that's the only time.
The only time.
Can't win otherwise.
If I get the demon mask this year for a prize, you're going to come in last?
Possibly, if it's last place prize.
No, it'll be the first place prize.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
We'll see what the mask looks like. It's one of those kitty masks. Meow.
Yeah, no, someone else can have that.
Kitty Chan. Can't see my hand going up and down. All right, so enough of that. So Cody is going to lead things off, jumping into themes, and let's see if I can do this correct. Bam. Boom. Yes, look at that.
Beautiful.
You starting with Cody. My spelling, Queen of the Waves. Oh, Cody's Queen of the Waves. No, that's right. I was going to say Queens of the Waves, which is my college rock band that I was in. Don't ask any questions. It's just the way it is.
Anyway. So Queen of the Waves, the theme. The only Kancho allowed is the one and only Jung Marie. The only Juhin allowed is Fujiwara Ran, who likes to walk.
See,
the what?
Your favorite group, Flock of Seagulls, and
Yes.
the song I Ran.
Yes, I love that song.
And I ran so far away. Okay, that's enough.
Anyway,
I couldn't get away. Sorry.
So the first benefit for this theme is during the starting phase, place one friendly Jung model within 1 inch of its current location. Huge.
That's fun.
You can disengage. You can, Ryujin up the board. Do a lot of stuff.
Ryujin up that board.
Yeah. And this one doesn't have the stipulation of not placing in enemy zone of control. So, yeah, just a little
switch targets or whatnot.
Yeah. So that's kind of the main thing with this theme. But the second ability is also really good, and that is during deployment, you may choose 2 friendly Jung models to gain flank.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah. A lot of the early games of Jung, I never used this, and then I got tired of not knowing how to use Ryujin and Wasapu killing him early because, didn't read Kami rules. So I started using flank, and I was like, wow, this is actually really good with certain models. I don't know if I'd necessarily flank Ryujin, but I know like flanking the sharks is really good.
Flanking the sharks would be disgusting.
Yeah. I think those are the main targets for the flanks. There's definitely, even like, I'll get into it in the list, but there's other models. I'm not saying that there's anything that you can't flank, but I wouldn't flank like a Miyakomo Asami or anything like that just because you're not really getting any benefit from that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so Queen of the Waves, just 2 benefits, pretty cut and dry, but very effective.
Yeah, I think, and as we get further in this, I think most of the themes don't have a whole lot of benefits to them, and they are very, 3 of them are obviously going to be for the 3 captains, so that'll be kind of interesting. So yeah. We'll get into it more, but so that's Queen of the Waves. Permitteds. Go ahead. What are permitted? What's excluded?
Permitted any Jung profile. Ronin Kami, Ronin Yokai, Ronin Kaizoku. Exclusion, other Kancho or Juhin other than those listed. The Kani Miman and Buto. Yeah, whatever.
I just said that really fast. It's probably totally wrong, but
it sounded better than my butcher job. And then you can't take Lua.
No Buto.
No Buto.
Wah, wah. All right. So first up is obviously going to be
Jung Marie. Yeah, and so when I was building this list, just as a disclaimer to start, I was doing it in Battlescribe, and apparently you can't, you can take Ken Mina.
Yeah.
But in Battlescribe it won't allow you to, or at least she wouldn't populate for me. So that was interesting. But so she's not in any of my lists because I completely forgot. So anyway, Jung Marie, she comes in at 20 rice, and she's the Kancho Samurai. She's got 3 melee, 3 ranged. Both of those are boostable by 3. 4 move, 2/8 key, which is also boostable. And I think the typical human Jung health bar of 6 health. She's got a katana with push defense 0 and +1 strength. She has a pistol with +2 strength. It is reload 2 and pierce 2 with a range of 3, 6, 9. Darn thing fine. Anyway, she's got bravery, command Kaizoku 3/6, feint 1, jump up, leadership Jung 1/6, protected Kaizoku 3 inches, and prowess melee 1. So she's got a lot.
She does a lot for the Kaizuko, for sure.
Yeah. And then key feat wise, she has 2. She's got provoke, so it's 2 active, target 6 inches. It's an opposed key test, and it's once per turn. and that is target enemy model gains an impetuous marker, and the opposing player may not declare use of a pass token next activation.
So they're going to be activating that model that you're making impetuous. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Sorry, ninjas. And then she's got Rally, which is 3-key active, and it's an 8-inch pulse, and that removes frightened markers from all friendly models within the pulse.
Which is very handy as most of the Jung are 1-key models.
Yes.
It's the Kaizuko especially.
So that's huge. Just nice, especially with it being an 8-inch bubble, and it's all of them.
Yeah.
And it's an active.
Yeah, so you need you use it when you need it.
Yeah. And then the last thing on Jung Marie's card is her unique effect, which is Kaizoku in this model's warband gains Scout 0.2 inches. So that is huge. Being able to start them up the board, that basically 3 inches because of rules. But then with some of the other cards, which I have in the list that I can go into, but just starting out, you have a model 3 inches up the board, and then you have a 1-inch place. So now he's basically 5 inches if you choose to use that, and you just really get some of those models up. And I kind of like that her ability with that, and the theme really goes with that, literal Queen of the Waves meaning.
You're rocking and rolling, getting everywhere.
Yeah.
And it looks like you got one piece of equipment on there. That seems a little interesting, as she actually does have a pistol.
I took that just because I needed the points.
That's what I figured.
And really, with the pistols are nice. They're basically shotguns. You're going to use it once before you get into combat, and then you're essentially going to get stuck in.
Okay, I just want to say that's what you said about Hiboku's bow in the battle report. And how many times did you shoot that thing? 3 times? 2 times?
Basically every
other round.
I think it was every turn.
No, you couldn't do it every turn because you had 2 reload markers on it. So he'd shoot.
It was like every other.
It was not every other round, or at least maybe once a round, depending on.
But still, that's a bow. He has more range, so he was able to not be close. I mean, you can shoot this thing at 9 inches, but at that point, you're shooting with the negative modifiers that eye patch gives you. So why not get 4 extra points in your list?
Well, there you go. I'm just not going to be using a kick-ass pistol unless absolutely necessary. Unless you're getting the shot from the behind on a prone target,
Yeah.
And we like to call that a cap to the back of the head.
Exactly. So. Yeah, I just took it for the extra points. I don't really ever use her pistol. Not that I know what I'm doing with her, but I'm kind of trying to keep her more protected so she can give the benefits to the Kaizoku with leadership and whatnot.
And command and
whatnot.
I mean, in theory, if something goes bad, just, grab whatever Kaizoko in 3 inches and, you're dead.
Exactly.
Now I'm reloading. Blam! All right. Oh, you're dead too.
Yeah. So, is it a smart choice? Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see. But, I mean, it's if you need 4 points, depends on what you bought with those 4 points.
Oh, lots of stuff.
Well, let's see what you got. All right, let's move on then. So next, the big shark himself.
I did take Hitakuchi in this list. I was really torn because Ryota I put at my number 1, and I kept going back and forth. And the list I brought for this was I was only able to fit 1 shark, and because I'm having the ability to flank and a couple other models that I'll get into, I was like, let's just go with Big Boy. See what we can do with him. So he's most likely. Well, I'll go through a stat card real quick. So I'm blind, so let me pull it up on my other computer real quick. He's 18 rice. He is 3 melee, 1 ranged. Wish I could give him a hand cannon. And then
I'm so high school.
It's a shark with a laser attached. 4 move, bucket full of health, I think 8.
Yeah.
He's 2/8 key. His melee weapon is bite.
He bites you.
Yeah.
It's jawsome.
Weapon. It's got +1 strength and bleed 1/1. He is aggressive. He's a shark. He's got bravery, charging bonus, brutal 1.
Nice.
Yeah. And then fear 5 and 6th sense. And then he has 2 key feats. He's got crushing blow, which is 2 active. It's personal. And his bite gains brutal +1 and pierce 1. And that can only be used once per activation. So if you're able to get a charge off, and you use that, you're brutal 2.
Mm-hmm. You're just going to be vulnerable, but that's all right.
Well, not necessarily, because then you have a second key feat, which is Second Wind, and that is 1 key active. And at the end of an activation in which this model declared a charge action and caused wounds in a melee exchange, it gains an activation counter.
Well, there you go, but you got to make sure you got your 3 key.
Yeah.
And then the unique effect when he's charging.
Yeah.
That's the other trick. So it depends on what. Well, I'll let you get to that because there's lots of things that could happen.
Right. So his unique effect, this model cannot declare weight or focus actions. That's a shark trait. When this model causes wounds to a non-soulless model during a melee exchange, it may heal 1 wound. And then when targeting a bleeding model with a charge action, this model gains charging bonus +1 move and bonsai. So against a bleeding model, if you flank him in and he charges, you have 10 inches of movement. You're bonsaiing for 1 activation, and you're brutal 2 if you have the key to use everything, and then you can potentially be at 2 activations at the end. It's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
And the nice thing is depending on what you're going against, in order to get bleed on a model, they had to have taken damage from something. Mm-hmm. So theoretically, they should be weakened, and hopefully he's just straight up killing stuff, and then he's not engaged because he lacks Indomitable.
Right. Yep. He does lack that. But again, if he's engaged with something, I look at it this way. I don't necessarily want to waste the heal.
Right.
But more than likely, if he's brutal 2 and he's going to be, plus he's charging, so it'll be +3 on the roll. Pierce 1, so he'd be able to ignore armor. So he's going to put a hurt on something. When he gets in there. I mean, again, I like him now that now that I'm looking at him more. It's just they really want you to be aggressive. Well, as they've written it into the damn card, they want you to be aggressive with him. So
that is one downside, and the other big downside with him is that he's a large-based model. So I feel like you really, at least if you're playing Queen of the Waves, you're most likely going to flank him.
Or I'll be honest, I consider taking the card Squall.
Yeah, there's plenty of other stuff.
Plenty of ways
I mean, you could even throw Arashi's fan on him if you really wanted to.
I find it funny him doing the fan dance.
Right. It's just tied onto the end of the hook through his mouth. Yeah, I really like him. Like I said, I was kind of going back and forth, but I really wanted that little extra hitting power and activation management potential with Second Wind. So
yeah,
he did edge out Ryota.
Okay, I could see that. All right, so then that seems to be some of the big muscle in your list. What's next? This is the
Joven.
I'm going to see with his equipment. I see what he does.
Yes, so Joven and Hitakuchi are best friends. So Joven, he's a Kaizoku, so he automatically gets to benefit from that scout from Jung Marie. He's 12 rice. His stat line's okay. He's got 2 melee, but he doesn't really want to get in melee anyways.
And then he's boost it.
Right. And then he's got 2 ranged, boostable by 3. 4 move, and he's a key 1/6, the typical Kaizoku. So his card's a little flip-flop, but he's got his melee weapon's a shiv. It's +0, no special anything on it. And then he's got a gun.
It's got an arquebus.
Yes. So it's Pierce 3, Reload 2, plus 4 damage, and the range is 6, 12, 18.
That's some boss ranges right there.
Yeah. So it's really nice just because all the movement shenanigans from theme and whatnot, you can kind of get him in position without actually having to move him. So he benefits from not moving when shooting, especially only having 2 dice.
Right. I was going to say, with only 2 dice, you don't want him to move a whole bunch.
Yeah, that's kind of rough. When I reviewed that guy, when I saw his card when he first came out, I was like, I'm very surprised they went very sensible and only gave him range dice 2. Unlike a lot of models at that range or at that price point, where it's like, oh yeah, three dice.
Yeah.
Especially when you have 2 in melee.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. The more that range is a thing, and it's a discussion, and I'm going to sidetrack this, and I really don't want to do it, but I have to I got to get my range rant in. With ninjas with their stars and throwing knives and things like that, especially against larger base figures, medium or large base or huge base figures, range is a pain, and I don't know how you fix it. Now, range in theory range is a thing. You either just don't give a lot of models range, or you got to somehow blunt it a bit. From my thought process, and I'm sure there's going to be tons of people who are going to disagree with this right now, one of the ways in which you could do it is, unless this is going to be like one of your pinnacle archers, one of your really good, that's what they're known for. That's the only thing they do. Now, Jobin might fall into that category. I think he's just more of a mook who happens to have a gun. But I would have everybody have 2. And let it be boostable. That could be called that. I would think of that boosting is like aiming, or give them a key feat called aim. But if you want to, not make drastic changes to things, it's boostable. So that's my boosting. As I throw 3 key in it, now I'm up to 3 dice. That's going to help tamp down on those really swingy things. Because if you get a large base that doesn't move at 5s, you're dropping it to 3.
Right.
On 3 dice, 8. Now you're just, so with my math being
level 5.
So it's 8, and it's 8 3 is 5. Success level 5. That's, you're going to shred it, and even if it has a lot of wounds, it's going to put a severe hurt on things, if not just wipe them out.
Right.
Because most of the firearms have the high pierce.
Yeah, especially the arquebuses. I think they're all 4s.
Yeah, they're all +4. They are pierce 3 or 2 or somewhere there. But even the bows, I'm almost of the mind, if you don't want to do you don't want to range it, or shuriken. There's one. I know the idea. If you get the doubles on the shuriken, it ignores armor. I'm all good with that, because that just means you got it into a lucky spot through the armor and whatnot. But again, that's a lot of damage incoming. For bows, I would put bows at a negative damage modifier, but I give them pierce 4, because that's what bows did.
Right.
They could punch through armor, but you very rarely, and then give them the option, if they roll doubles, that they could do. They're not going to kill somebody, but then they get a plus to their damage or something. Anyway, range is such a difficult thing to do, because there's so many games that, especially at this level with the medieval games and the ancient games and whatnot, range can really skew things. And so it's a puzzle that's really hard to figure out. And this is just me pondering it, just because I've seen and I've heard people complaining too much about ninjas and throwing stars or throwing daggers. The new Master Shi from Kinshi with his range attack that has combo 0 on it for some.
And 4 dice.
And 4 dice for some ungodly reason. Wasapu. I don't have to say anything else, just Wasapu. And even Kahimi and possibly Koga. Kahimi, with enough key on her, she just becomes a machine gun turret. And Koga, if he's got Tayo around him, who's got key, he becomes a machine gun turret.
Yeah.
Of a bow. I think the funny thing is I think out of all the ranged weapons, the bow correct me, disagree with me if you want. The bow seems to be the one that's the least effective as compared to throwing knives, kusari, throwing daggers, Master Shi, whatever the fuck he does, and
Hadouken.
and guns. Even though the guns have the reload 2 on it, although Ryu seems to get around reload 2 pretty damn easy with paper cartridges and some other shit.
Yeah, firing line or ranked firing drill.
Yeah, and there's a couple different things they could get that down, but again, that costs a key, and it's usually a 1 key, and they don't get the key dump like Ito does with Channel City there. So there's I don't know. I just see some people getting put off by the range, and I understand it should be dangerous. It should be significant. It should do something, but I think there's other ways than just doing flat out murdering damage. Give it bleed, give it high pierce rating, but limit that damage. Because you always see, here I'll go with a movie reference, which is totally not realistic. But you look at Lord of the Rings and Boromir. How many arrows actually lit him up before he died? And if you took a look at those arrows, were they really arrows, or were he being shot at with baseball bats that had a steel point on the end of them? Because those things were round as hell. They were huge, big diameter arrows.
Yeah,
but it took like 5 to take them down. And even if you look at it, you look at historical battles. People would wear their heavy armor. Bows would just pop right through that shit. But it didn't kill them. It would usually knock them off a horse, and then the horse trampling them, or them being stuck in the mud and then drowning in their armor or whatnot. Because if they went face first, they were screwed. That's what killed them. So I don't know. That's just range. That's enough of a sidetrack on that. That's my rant. Thus endeth Gaming Greg's rant on ranged.
So
it's kind of like,
anyway,
shut up, Greg.
Yeah, no. Back to Jobin, the Crow's Nest sniper. Yep. He has jump up as his only trait, which I think all Kaizoku have. Which it's awesome. I love that. I hate prone. He has 1 key feat, which is Hot Shot, and it is 2 key, active, personal, and once per game. And it gives his arquebus weapon fire 1/2 until the current action is resolved.
Yeah.
So you might ask why Jobin and Hitakuchi are best friends. Well, that is because of the lovely silver bullets. And silver bullets give the attached model's pistol or arquebus weapon bleed 1/1.
Shocking.
Yeah. So the reason why he's got silver bullets instead of, say, Jung Marie is just for that simple fact that, if you're going up against Savage Wave or something like that, well, like you said, he's hitting a Oni on 3s essentially, and getting that bleed so that way Hitakuchi can hopefully just melt them.
Yeah, I mean, and
he's doing it at range. So,
and keep in mind, the reason why we're saying he's getting on 3s because it's 5s for medium, which is up to 12 inches on a 2-foot board.
Right. It's half the board.
Yeah. You're more than likely going to be able to hit something like that. And if it's a large base, Oni's being it. But even if it's medium bases, that's still 4s.
Yeah. And short range, it's even deadlier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially against those large bases. But
I mean, not to pick on large base, but still, it'll be effective against mediums, and it still hurts the crap out of a small base.
Yeah,
even with no bonus to hit.
And that's kind of the thing. So with him, you're really going to want that target priority. Like, what are you focused on trying to kill? Whether even if you're using him to shoot at a support piece, Hitakuchi with 10-inch range, as long as there's no difficult terrain or anything crazy like that in the way, either Jobin just one-shots it and great, it's off the board, your shark can do something else, or he whittles it down and then your shark goes in, hopefully kills it, and then is sitting on 2 activations still at the end of that slaughter fest.
Yeah, and probably deep in enemy territory, sitting on 2 activations, which is huge.
Yeah. So he could potentially either continue killing stuff or, go do some scenario actions if needed. He just can't wait or focus, but he can go pray at an idol.
Mm-hmm.
So
weird.
It would be weird, but
it's very doable.
Yeah. So that's why he's in the list, kind of that little duo. And just like you had said, Greg, just ranged is it's effective.
Range can be effective.
Yeah. Unless you're me. My dice are atrocious when it comes to range. So
thank God there's a part of your game that's atrocious, Cody.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. You give us a fighting chance. You give us mere mortals a fighting chance. Thank you.
That's why I play Temple. There's no range. Well, there is, but I didn't take any of them.
Thank you. We appreciate that. I'm sure there's going to be a card coming called Kamehameha Blast at some point in time.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, all right. So that's Jobin with Hitakuchi. They're the super best friends.
Yep.
Next up,
Musa. So this is the other model that I'm flanking in this particular list. So Musa's 12 rice. He's also a Kaizoku, so he could scout with Jung Marie. He's 3 melee, boostable by 3, 3 ranged, boostable by 3. He's got 4 move, which is also boostable by 3, and key 1/6. His melee weapon is blades, combo attack 0, push attack 0. And then he is aggressive, immune prone, and indomitable 1. And he has a key feat, which is 1 key. It's an active and personal. And his melee weapon gains brutal +1 until the end of the current activation is resolved. And he can only use that once per melee exchange. Thank God. Because if he could use that more, then stacking brutal is broken. He has a unique effect of when this model uses its Ren key feat, its blades, melee weapons also gain +1 strength. So, just base card, he's an average fighter. Downside is the aggressive, but being immune prone is really nice. And he just really can annoy the back lines of support models. Just have a lot of fun. And the reason why I'm flanking him is because I'm giving him the equipment card hand cannon. So it's basically the same hand cannon that Jung Marie comes base with, but giving it to Musa, one, you're kind of able to get around his aggressiveness because you're shooting someone in the back, theoretically, if you're flanking.
Theoretically, yeah.
And you're also able to use it to kind of soften them up. Same thing that I was saying with Jobin and Hitakuchi. You put Musa on the other side, and your 2 flankers are coming in and just kind of softening the literal flanks and kind of making your opponent go, do I keep playing scenario or do I try and deal with these guys so they're not in my back line? And just him having the ability to shoot, and yeah, it's reload too, but if he's safe and you don't necessarily want to engage him with anybody else, if, say you one-shot something with the hand cannon, well, just reload it. See if you can get another shot off.
See if you can. I'm waiting for them to come out with just abrasive pistols. So that way it's pistols, but it's ammo. So you don't bother with a reload. You just shoot one and throw it to the ground. You shoot another one, throw it to the ground. Shoot a third one, throw it to the ground.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool. It would be broken as
all right.
Get out, but that'd be cool.
Someone's got to win with Jung.
I'll leave it to you because my strength is running tournaments, not playing in them, obviously. All right, so that's Musa. I like him.
I really like him too.
I just like him in general.
He's a really cool, dynamic model that they just did a really good job with this guy, and I just think he's going to be a ton of fun. I don't even think I've assembled mine yet, but on paper, I really like this guy.
Well, and I think in general, Queen of the Waves, at least right now, as you have it set up, is one of those where it's just very aggressive in general.
Yeah,
I'd almost see taking all 3 sharks in it if I were doing it, to have 3 aggressives, throw him in there, and just try to move them up the board, and you're a wave of death, or sharks, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see who's next in your cavalcade of death or wave of death.
Show.
Shocking, it's Show.
He was my number 2 in the top 3. So Kaizoku again, 9 rice, 3 melee, boostable by 3, 1 ranged, so not getting the hand cannon.
Not getting the hand cannon.
4 move, 1/6 for key. He's got a gaff hook, which has bleed 1/1, and drag defense 0 at, is that a
-1.
-1, thank you.
-1 melee strength.
He's got dodge 1, jump up, and light footed, and he has a key feat of sweep, which is 2 key, active, personal, gain sweep attack 0 until the current action is resolved. Pretty straightforward. He's one that you don't care if he's wasting time, turning an idol on Osatsu where it's a complex, or, if he's in your front lines beating the crap out of stuff or dying.
Yeah.
He's good cannon fodder, but also makes up for everything with his 9 rice.
He's a Kaizuko. He's doing Kaizuko stuff, which is mainly dying.
Also scouting.
There you go. All right. So that's Show, doing Show stuff.
Show me the money.
Next up, my gosh, it's the lesser Show.
Yes, it's the Kohanen.
You only have one of those, right?
8 rice. Correct, I believe so.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. So the Kohanen, he's 8 rice, 3 melee, boostable by 3. For some reason, they have 2 ranged. Don't know. 4 move, 1/6 key, and they have the same gaff hook, except theirs has bleed 1/1 and drag defense 1, so they're not quite as good with it. -1 strength, and they only have light footed as a base ability.
But
they can get athleticism for 2, which is an active, and that gives them jump up and dodge.
Very nice. Until the end of the current.
Yeah, until the end of the current activation.
Right.
So it'd be nice if that was till the end phase.
I would think it would be, to be perfectly honest, I would love it to be instant.
Yes.
Because right now somebody gets a drop on them when they're not active, and then
Yeah.
So bad.
But
Sorry to be you.
Can't really complain too much. They're 8 rice for an average fighter. They get stuff done.
They get stuff done. Not like this podcast, but they do.
So that's I have one more model.
You got one more. Dun dun dun.
Oh, I have 2 more models. So I took the horseshoe crab because you have to take the horseshoe crab. Well, it's just fun. You don't have to. I love it. So the horseshoe crab comes in at a whopping 1 rice.
Woo.
They have.
I'll read it out.
Yeah, well, I can read it. I was just like, how do I want to talk about the horseshoe crab? So their melee stat and their key stat is X. And X is what their current remaining wounds are. So the horseshoe crab only has 1. So he has 1 melee, 1 key.
There you go.
He has 4 move. They have a melee ability called Claws, sidestep 0, both defense and attack, both at 0. And it's -2 strength. And the crabs come base with armor 2, insignificant, group, and tiny.
Yeah, well, normal. Yeah, that's weird that they put that in there because horseshoe crab is totally different.
Yeah, horseshoe crab is totally different. So the horseshoe crab has the following traits. It is armor 3, defensive, immune all, and tough 3. And the thing that I hate most about the horseshoe crab is that he cannot declare melee or charge actions and may declare weight actions while in base to base with enemy models. So that's kind of nice because you get to avoid doing combat with him if you're the active player, but it sucks because being insignificant, they can't really block anything just because they don't have a zone of control. it would be nice.
But you
if
still,
they
if you get
could,
into
but-
base to base with something,
Yeah.
then they're locked up. So you just scuttle along until you get into base to base with someone and say, "You're stuck."
Exactly.
F you.
And they can be used to sort of block charge lanes and stuff like that. So it's nice. It's basically 1 point for 2 activations or 2 pass tokens.
For something that's
Essentially.
a pain in the ass, potentially.
Yeah. Most people just ignore it, but sometimes you just get frustrated and you got to get into combat with it, and then it just sits there and goes, haha, I'm tough 3 and armor 3. Good luck.
I'm going to put my 1 die in defense.
Yes. And sidestep 0.
Why do you want to sidestep? You want to
don't
stay
have
engaged.
to. Right. Yeah.
Unless you want to sidestep into something else that's bigger and more valuable.
Right. Yes. So that is kind of a trap, but in those instances, it's nice. So horseshoe crab, pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward. All right.
And the last model.
Yes, the obligatory Ashinaga Tanaga.
Yeah. So when I was building this list, I was kind of like I was saying earlier, do I take 2 sharks? Do I take 1? Well, you only get 2 models with flank, so I knew that was going to be Hitakuchi and Musa. So I wanted a little something else to kind of control the middle of the board, since I was threatening the flanks already, and I looked to Ashinaga Tanaga for that. So he's 15 rice, 3 melee, boostable by 3, 2 ranged, boostable by 3, 4 move, and a key stat of 2/8, which is also boostable by 3. He's got a whole ton of weapons.
He has all the weapons.
Yes,
no, not really,
he's
but
like
it's close.
Toshiro. But so his first melee weapon is the harpoon, and it has bleed 1/1, reach, push defense 0, and it's +1 damage. I guess he only has 1 melee weapon, right?
No, he's got the net.
He's got the net. So then he also has the net, which is entangling, grapple attack 0, and sidestep defense 0. So it's kind of nice. You have a couple different options there.
Yeah.
Get him out of combat, or
or you're going to grapple somebody.
Yeah.
Just remember that the net is an SP, so it doesn't do any damage. It just does a special effect.
So those are the melee weapons. We'll get to the specials in a moment. So ranged weapons, he has the thrown harpoon, and it is bleed 1/1 and lightweight, +0 for the strength, and it is 2/4/6 for range. That's another reason he just has 2 weapons with bleed. So kind of, like I said, threatening the middle, putting bleed out, hopefully helping the shark get stuff done.
Yeah.
And then he can throw the net, and it is entangling, and it only has ammo 1 and can only be thrown at medium range, and I believe that's a 3-inch. Yeah.
Yep, up to 3.
So kind of had to be careful with that. I've used it before. Just be careful if you do use it, but it's not like a game breaker if it misses or anything. So traits, he's got bravery, believer villager 1/4, which doesn't do anything for this faction. Immune prone, light-footed, and 6th sense, so he can also hunt your ninjas. He has precision strike at 2 key, and it's active, and his weapons gain pierce 1 until the current action is resolved. That's okay.
Helps.
And sometimes, but not terrible. And then Quagmire, that's the main key feat. So it's a cost of X, active, and aura X. And the aura's area is considered difficult clear 0. So really, you get him in the middle, he can kind of prevent people from moving majority of your stuff. And this list is light-footed, so they're not going to be affected by it. And just clog up zones and paths and whatnot.
Yeah, just make it hard to move.
Yeah. And he's just a bear to deal with. So his unique effects, this model may not choose to use the net melee weapon if it has no ammo tokens. Kind of
Makes
a
sense.
given there. And
Yeah,
then Thrown Harpoon. If this attack causes damage, then the target model is moved 1 inch directly towards this model, and he can only make 1 Thrown Harpoon attack per turn. So it kind of sucks that he can't make more than one, but at the same time, he's trying to pull people in, get them into that difficult terrain, and then let your Kaizoku go in and beat the crap out of them.
Or your shark.
Yeah, but I was going to say, he's really not a slouch in combat. He's really just a tough model, especially sitting on, looks like 8 health.
8, yeah.
Just good beat stick.
He's a tough customer, and again, one of the things that you don't see too much, or it honestly depends on the faction. You don't see a whole lot of light-footed, and so anything that makes difficult terrain, which makes negotiating the board in certain spots more difficult to do, the better. Now, again, there are some factions that it doesn't matter. The bird people, the
Tengu.
dissension, the Tengu. They'll bypass that in a heartbeat and not have to worry about it. There's some stuff. So yeah, it's a nice way to kind of, if you're thinking about it, put them in the middle and force people to the sides where you're flanking in your nasty stuff, or just bog them down in the middle and then let your nasty stuff jump them.
Exactly.
They're tired and bleeding.
That's kind of the thought process behind this list. And then I've got some fun event cards. So I did take a bounty. After deployment, choose an enemy unique model, and that model gains a death sentence marker. So that's great. Putting it on one of those flankers. Not on your flankers, but one of the models that your flankers are going to be theoretically targeting, and just make your opponent decide, hey, am I going to spend 3 key and get rid of this, or am I going to chance it and leave it and hopefully not get myrtleated? The other event, which I took 2 of, and that is Kamikaze. So with Queen of the Waves, you can take 2 copies of Kamikaze, even though it only has a max of 1, and I paid 2 rice for each copy. So in the starting phase, you can choose up to X friendly Jung models, so in this case it's 2, and place each model within 1 inch of its current position, and not in an enemy zone of control. And X can't be greater than 3. So I can use that and really move my stuff up the board or around, get it out of combat, so on and so forth. And between the multiple kamikazes and the theme, it's just a lot of where my model's going to be and that guessing game for the opponent.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. Then I had 1 rice left over. I was going back and forth because I was thinking about taking a peg leg on someone and grabbing a second copy of Bounty, and I was just like, we'll just go with rice bale barricades.
When in doubt, rice bale barricades.
So
you're not in the temple, so you can't take the Grinto. So
right. Well, I think that's 2 anyways. But yeah, that's my Queen of the Waves.
Okay.
I would play this list. There's a couple other really good Queen of the Waves lists out there, especially on the Discord, but I know Bushido Cast, they've got a couple episodes where they talk about a couple different Queen of the Waves lists. So I wanted to try and do something different. I know that this list shares a lot of similarities with the list that Jack ran at the UK Games Expo, but it's also, I think, different enough. But yeah, he was flanking sharks on different turns, and so there's a lot you can do with this list.
Oh, for sure. That's, again, I like all of the Jung lists, the themes, because they're tailored for their different captains, and so that way you kind of get different things. Even though you're running sometimes the same figures in all your lists, they're going to be treated differently depending on who the captain is and the theme. So it's kind of neat. All right, so to kind of keep this train a rolling, Gaming Jason has excused himself for a while as Gaming K is raising hell. I think somebody must have said Kawa No Rojin to him because he's very, very upset.
Definitely.
I'm upset. Saying it myself, I'm just about to burst into tears myself. So I'm going to run through his list, and Gaming Jason was given the task of creating a Black Sails theme. Dun, dun, dun. So that theme, the Black Sails, is based on a Concho, the Concho being Jung Hibiki, his super agile self. His Junin is Jung Tora. And then for the different things that it can do, so first benefit that it gives is during the starting phase, choose one friendly Kaizuko model to gain one activation counter. So that's cool. So every round you're going to give somebody a third activation essentially. So neat. Second thing, when a friendly Kaizuko model successfully uses sidestep defense, it gains one key token. That's kind of disgusting because you get a boatload of key tokens. Now, how can they do that, you say? Well, let's dig into this just a wee bit more. But let me go through the permitteds and exclusions first. So permitted, any Jung profile, yay. Ronin Yokai, yay. And Ronin Kaizuko. Cool. Exclusions, any other Concho or Junin than those listed, and Kami. You can't take any Kami. You can't take any of the other captains or first mates. Okay, so that pretty much opens up the entire Jung library of stuff. So first off, though, you got to talk about, if you're going to be doing these themes, you're going to talk about the captains if you're taking a captain. And Jason did. He took Jung Hibiki. Good choice.
Yes.
He was, I think he was my number one. I think he was Jason's number one. You get your biggest bang for your buck out of this guy, I think.
I agree.
So who is Jung Hibiki really quickly? Well, he's a 20 rice model. He's a Concho. He's a samurai. Those are his keywords. He has 3 melee, 5 movement, so he's fast. He's Ito fast. 3 range, and key 2/8. He could boost his melee, and he could boost his movement by spending 3 key for either of those. His melee weapon is shark teeth. Apparently, he has a second pair of teeth that he puts in his mouth, and then apparently bites people. He has melee strength of 0 on that, but he does have combo 0, sidestep 0, and throw defense of 1. So all really good specials on that. I like. There's not a single special on there that I don't like, other than throw defense is 1, and I would love it to be 0. But then I'm a greedy dude. You agree that I'm a greedy dude, or agree that it would be cool if he had it as 0?
Cool if it was 0. Agree that you're a greedy bastard elf.
Oh, GBD, baby. GBE. I remember those good old days of playing
Pixel Junk.
Pixel Junk Monsters, yes. All right. You're ever looking for a tower defense game? It's an old PS3 game?
You can get it on PS4.
You get the original on PS4 now?
It's not the original. It's different.
No, the new one the new one isn't the same.
Yeah.
Not the same. But man, that game, I wasted literally days.
Way too much time.
So good. So good. Traits for Jung Hibiki. He has agile. There you're doing the dance to do the improvements. Agile, bravery, dodge 1, feint 1, jump up, and prowess melee 1. So all of those are good. Even better is if he doesn't want to be in combat with someone, he doesn't have to, because he's agile and could just walk out of it.
Yep.
Directly out of it, but he can walk out of it. He has 3 key feats. The first one is Parlay, which costs 2 rice. It's an instant. It's targeted, and you must be in base to base with the target. Parlay says, during an enemy model's activation in which it enters base to base with this model, that enemy's model activation ends immediately. That's kind of disgusting, especially because he could just walk away from him at the end of it. You can only do that once per turn, but you don't have to roll for it. It just happens. Hey, I got a key stat of 3 and I'm going to come in and mess you up. Yeah,
No.
Or better yet, this is one of my personal favorites because I haven't really, just thinking about that. So I really hate that stupid little marionette.
Oh, yeah.
So this guy, the marionette comes truck-a-luck. I don't know how to make clicky noises like a marionette would, but he goes, comes running up to you, gets into base to base. He parlays with it. One, how do you parlay with a puppet? Just think about that for a second. And then the puppet just doesn't do anything. Yeah, it doesn't work. Puppet, I don't want you to... Let's talk about this. Do you really want to control me? And the puppet just like... I don't know. But the puppet won't do anything because I just spent 2 key and I just said, F you, puppet.
Yep. And then you just walk 4 inches away.
And then I just walk away and go beat the crap out of
Kato.
Kato. Hey, Kato, I saw what you're trying to do to me. And now you're no more. Hooray. So parlay, really disgustingly good. Vault is his other key, is his second key feat. It costs 2 rice, active, and personal. What does Vault do? This model gets Cloud Walk until the end phase. Hooray! Let's just run over everything and go and kill something. So that's cool. And last but not least, Vitality, because who can't use more activation tokens? Costs 3 key, it's instant. He can only do it once per turn, but when he does do it, model gains an activation token. None of those 3 things I can find a problem with. All of them are...
They're not cheaper.
Yeah, because I'm a greedy bastard elf.
Exactly.
I want them cheaper. We're going with a theme here tonight, people. While this is so unique effect, while this model is in play, and now so take everything that you have for him, and then on the top of it, put his unique effect in there. While this model is in play, Kaizuko models in this model's warband gain evasive, and their melee weapons gain sidestep defense 0. So remember that theme that said whenever someone successfully does a sidestep, they get a key feat? Well, he just gives them to all the Kaizuko for 0. 0 cost. It's a key palooza.
Yep.
They can't stop making key. So that's that. You've already set up for what Jason's going to do. It's going to be making ridiculous amounts of key and stabbing people in the back. It's kind of like a super Ito list, but better. Because they probably have 6 key. And he decided to give him a hand cannon, because what's better than parlaying with somebody, stepping back and going, blam, right in their face? I can't think of anything that's better. No. So that's his concho, and I think that was a solid choice, especially as the theme is kind of built around him.
Agreed.
So that takes us to his next choice is Jung Tora, the Junin, or his first officer.
Interesting.
So Tora is 17 rice. She's a Junin, 3 melee, 4 movement, 3 ranged, 2 6 on key. She could boost each one of those by spending 3 key if she needs to. Her weapons are a dagger, which has a -1 melee strength, combo, and sidestep. Cool. She doesn't need the Kaizuko bonus because she's a Junin, so we might as well give her sidestep 0 so she can make key. Her ranged attack is thrown daggers. We know how I feel about that. -1 range strength, 2 4 6, and combo 1. So if she's throwing 2 dice, but since she's making so much ridiculous amounts of key by sidestepping, she'll have that up to 3 dice, probably at close range. It's not lightweight, so that's kind of interesting. So there's that. Traits. She has bravery. Good. Jump up. Good. She has leadership. Kaizuko adds 1 within 4 inches. So it's kind of a tight bubble, but it will be helpful considering most Kaizuko only have 1 key and trying to make those fear checks. It's about the only thing that's really keeping Jung in place is fear.
Yeah.
She has 1 key feat, and it's Flow Like Water. It's cost 2. You must be active, and it's personal. What does Flow Like Water do? Well, this model gains dodge 1 and counter-strike defense 0 until the end of the current melee exchange. So that's a lot of laughs right there. Pop that one, and then you know what she's doing. Her unique effect is Kaizuko models within this model's leadership range, so within 4 inches, gain bravery. Awesome, considering that they're also getting +1 on their fear checks. So yeah, that's a good thing. And they get bodyguard Jung Tora. So if you don't want Jung Tora to be killed, you just do a substitution jutsu, and suddenly there's a Kaizuko that's being clobbered by somebody who's going to sidestep around it and gain 1 key doing it.
Right.
See the theme where I'm going here with. Last thing, unique effect. And I think this is why people put her in the list, just to have her have a 17-point. What's a good reason to have a 17-point model die? I can't think of one except for when this model is removed from play, an enemy attack or effect, all models in the opposing warband gain a death sentence marker. Remove that, children. On everybody.
And you get a death sentence, and you get a death sentence.
She is the Oprah of death sentences. They're just going to find it under her dead body.
Just rename her Jung Oprah.
Yeah, Jung Oprah. So you could either use her to really support your Kaizuko wave, or if somebody says, you know what, I got to put this bitch down because the Kaizuko are brave and they're dodging and they're getting a boatload of ki. And then when you do that, you go, oh, wait, I really shouldn't have done that.
Or if you just have terrible dice, but you're in a position that you benefit from her dying either way. Like, even if you want to keep her alive, she only has 5 health.
Yeah.
So
no armor, no toughness.
Yeah, if you do happen to roll poor, it's not as negative as losing another 17 rice model necessarily, because she puts death sentence on everything.
Yeah, I think you're almost going in to be perfectly honest, I'm almost thinking you want to have her with the aggressive trait on her, because I could see you playing ridiculously aggressive with her as long as you're getting the first attack off, because you're almost taunting somebody saying, go ahead and kill me.
Right.
I think that's it's a
you don't even need to throw the aggressive. If you're ready to suicide her, you just walk her in. As long as you have initiative, throw everything in attack, and maybe you kill the thing. Great. Maybe not. You put a bunch of damage on it. She dies, and then now you're really beating the crap out of stuff.
Well, and then again, and here's, I'll even throw this out here. Even if she doesn't have initiative, if somebody's going to come in, either A, they've prepped themselves that everybody's going to get a death sentence token, in which case then maybe you flip it and go Counter-Strike defense. Right. But to be perfectly honest, going to come in and attack her? All right. How much are you going to put in attack? Because if you don't take her down, she's going to hit back. I'm going to go all offensive. And if I do die, everybody's got a death sentence marker. So, my guess is somebody's probably, it's a very stupid way to play, which is basically how I play Bushido, is stupidly.
Same.
But, really, if about the one thing I would say that would take her out, but again, it's any attack, is be ranged. And so you don't shoot her. I would use her as my premier flipping idols, standing in zones, because, again, unless you really want to pay that cost to take her out, although I would probably hold her off. I probably wouldn't put her in a very compromising situation till probably turn 2 or 3, and I would do it towards the end of 2, because that way I have most of my forces up so I can get the biggest bang for my buck. Now, that also means that my opponent might have 3 ki to get rid of some of those death sentence tokens, but if things are going right, they're probably burning some ki in the process, and they still got to kill her anyway on turn 3. So,
and she has the ability, you can really bluff people out with sidestep attack 0. If you have the initiative, you run in, you sidestep attack, you go around the back, and
throw
then
some daggers.
Yeah.
Combo.
Exactly. So she has a lot of flexibility, and she's in the new starter box. So I really like this model.
I do too.
I didn't give her enough credit until we were doing this, and now, like, I've played her. I played her on one of our battle reports, and I was just like, whatever, I'll suicide her, but now looking at her, I'm like, I actually like her a lot.
I'm sure people will say, and they're listening to this and saying, you know what, I'll just take the death sentences. I'll find a way to deal with it. That's fine, and that's a solid strategy to do it. Especially depends on when you're popping it and how much key you have available. But again, I like this model because it forces choices.
Yeah.
Not only for me if I'm playing her, but for my opponent who has to deal with her. It's not as cut and dry as some things are. Masunagi. I know exactly what Masunagi is going to do. 3 in attack, 1 in defense, and cleave if I'm active. I'm throwing up the bird a lot tonight. I don't know what the hell's going on with me. I'm very aggressive.
All the shark talk.
It's all the shark talk. Shark talk.
I want to play her into Blood Brothers.
Oh my god!
They finally get rid of their death sentence, kill her, more death sentence. Oh, that would just be comical.
More death sentences. That would be hilarious. So that's Jung Tora. I think Jung Tora, if I'm looking at it, I'm thinking Jung Tora is kind of the linchpin on this thing. In some ways. In some ways I can see it not be. So that's her. Next up, hey, it's Kohanen, and Jason has 2 of them in his list. Because what's better than 1 Kohanen? A second Kohanen. Cody's kind of already gone over his stats. This is just warm bodies to take advantage of the fact that they now have sidestep 0 on their gap hook and are going to rack up ridiculous amounts of key. What can they do with that key? Well, they're either doing athleticism or they're doing boost to their melee attacks. And if you're really lucky and Jung Tor is dead, they're attacking something that has a death sentence on it. So, let the good times roll. And I have no fear of letting an 8-point model flip an idol.
Right.
All day long. All day long. All day. So that's Kohanen. Hey, look, he's got Show too.
We might call him Shohanen.
Shohanen. Show me the show. He's Kaizuko. We've already talked about him. Again, in there, he is really, really good at doing the sidestep because he's got the dodge 1. And sweep attack is still kind of fun. And so he'll make ridiculous amounts of key. So he'll be sweeping with that gaff hook all night long.
Yes.
Or boosting his thing. And again, no fear of ever flipping an idol with a 9-point model. So we now know what our idol flipping core is. Sho and the 2 Kaizuko, the 2 Sho and the 2 Kohanen, which was never a band name of mine. Next up. Musa. Hey. Wow. Did you 2 talk to each other when you were making your list, or is it just general theme?
Well, I mean, I don't know when he sent his list in, but I did send mine in early this morning.
Okay. So he's got Musa. We've already know what his stat line is. This is probably more of his combat beast.
Yeah.
With the blades, the combo attack, and sidestep 0. He's aggressive, but he is indomitable. So, there's a little bit of a drawback there. But, I probably should have talked to Jason more about how he was playing this list a little bit. But in general, I see it just trying to get up the board and try to be super aggressive. And I think Tora is setting the pace for it. Because if Tora goes down, you really want your guys up in somebody's grill to really finish it off that turn.
Yeah, and he has a harder time capitalizing on the sidestep 0 to get the key just because of the innate aggressive.
Yeah, and he doesn't have dodge. He doesn't have parry or anything like that.
No, he'd be splitting 2 and 1.
But he wants that
2
death
attack
sentence.
or 1 defense. But yeah, he's loving when Tora goes down and there's death sentence. He's basically a shark at that point.
Yeah, he is. He is definitely a shark. All right. Next up, and I know Jason loves this model. Oh, Ken. Ken Mania. Yeah, whatever. I didn't say it.
Ken.
So Ken, we'll just call them Ken.
Ronin Ken.
Ronin Ken. She or he is, and I think it's she. She is in the new 2-player starter set. I shouldn't say. Should we say it's new because it's been out for almost not quite 6 months.
I mean, technically, it is the new.
It's the newest 2-player starter.
Yes.
So it's accurate. She's generally on the Kiyazumi side, but she's an Ashiguri. She's a Shaite. She's a Kaizuko. She's so many things to so many people. She's 13 rice. She has a melee stat of 3, a movement of 4, a range attack of 1, and she gets 1/4 key. Cool. Gotta like it. She also has a weapon, a Tetsuken, which is +1 melee damage and stun attack 1. So kind of fun. Throw a stun marker out there if you really have the dice to do it. Nothing bad. Armor 2, that's really solid in a list so far that I haven't seen any armor in any of those guys. So armor 2. Fortune, because she could serve in Silver Moon. She's a Ronin. She could serve in either Silver Moon or Jung. So she's a Jung Ronin. So having Fortune basically lets you flip your coin in the key generate. You flip a coin in key generation stage, call heads or tails. If it comes up what you call, you get double your key. If it doesn't, you don't get any key. Okay, that's cool. She also has jump up because she's a Kaizuko. And who doesn't? But her key feat, this is what really, I love her key feat.
Yeah.
It's so dirty. Alacrity. So alacrity costs 0 key for you to do. You have to be active. You have to be the active player, I should say. And it's personal. Do not have somebody in base to base, and you can only do it once per turn. What does alacrity do? What is this magical key feat that costs 0 key, Greg? Tell us more about this. Well, I will. Alacrity, this model gains an additional activation counter. An enemy model may cancel this key feat by spending 1 key token. This model then gains that key token, and the key feat has no other effect but is considered to have been used this turn. So basically, what you're saying is, I'm running Ken, and I'm going to go and attack. I'm about to activate her, and I'm going up to Cody, and I'm saying, Cody, I'm going to give myself an extra activation token. What do you think about that? Cody now has to make a choice.
Yeah, that is actually a hard choice because that extra activation is huge, but also depending on what faction you're playing, the key is rough. She loves going up against Kenshi though, because they can't give her key, so she's always on 3 activations.
Yeah, but so just to kind of throw something in here, what's dirty? She's Kaizuko. So what does she get?
Extra key from sidestep.
Step 0, baby.
Yep.
Baby. And why does she want all this key? I mean, aside from the fact having key is kind of cool, why does she want to have this key? Well, she has the card, which this card does come in the 2-player starter set, because its requirement is you must be Kenamina. And it's an enhancement, and it's professional. When this model has key tokens equal to its maximum key limit, which is 4, which is really low, but there's a reason, it gains Fearless, so who cares about being scared, and Tough 1. So, yeah. If you give her the key, she's just going to get closer to that professional level. She could try to do it by flipping a coin and sidestep defensing.
The other reason why I took her, I've got like maybe 30 seconds here. I could also, in theory, get her up to 4 activations because she's Kaizuko. So she gets
you put the extra activation on her.
From Black Flag.
Gotcha.
Actually, given this list, when you get into my event cards, if people are feeling very generous, I can get her up to 5 activations in this list, which was kind of like she was meant to be kind of like my workhorse, whether it's idle flip or trying to take out people who are just exhausted.
Well, you are just upset. You're just upsetting Gaming Kai with all that terrible talk and tactics. So you got it from the horse's mouth there, because me and Cody, Cody might have put it together. I was going to put it together maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, same.
Is Kenamina gets a buttload of activations, whether
it be but it's got to be willingly. But I mean, if things go out correctly, I could at least I can consistently get her 4 activations a turn, depending on how things are going.
Yeah, I mean, out of the gate, you give her 3, because once per turn, you're going to give it. So you give it her. If there's nothing else that you could use that activation on, you give it to her. So she's at 3. You play the alacrity game. So now somebody's got to go, oh, do I want to give him an extra key? Well, just make sure that you don't have 4 key on you, because then if I have 4 key, it's like, well, fuck it, here's your key, unless I don't need it. And now the thing to remember with alacrity, when you choose, so let's say you want to pay that key cost, it's any model in your army. It's not one specific model that has to pay it. It's any model, as long as they're on the board. So it could go off somebody that you really don't care about, if they don't use key, or key's not important. As important. For me, it could be Mizuki, because Mizuki's going to make key like no tomorrow.
Right.
Oh, look, you used a key feat. Hey, I'm going to give you that key so you stop it. Hey, thanks for giving me the key. Oh, no, I think you have to spend ki to actually do that. So she's not actually spending ki to do it. So never mind. Anyway, long and the short of it is, there's lots of ways to get it back.
She'd be fine giving it up.
Yeah, she gives it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And even if you're not gonna, spam activations, the thought of having multiple models, can with the potential for 3 and then Musa with 3 or something else in the list with 3 activations. That
Tora with 3.
That's
I think it's Kaizuko that has to have it for the theme.
Oh, it is Kaizuko.
Yeah, so
but still, show any of them. That's really good.
As everyone has said, the most valuable resource in the game of Bushido is activation. So the ability to give more activations out, so much the better. All right, so that's Ken. Ken is really, really filthy. I love it. They made some really good models in that 2-player starter, and this is one of them.
Ken's probably one. I think she's probably the best one, just with swordsmanship. But I mean, that can only be used in the family. But it's between her and Koga, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, so that's basically all the figures in Jason's list. Next, we have his events, of which he has a plethora of. So he's got the Rice Bale Barricade, because why not?
This list was kind of a little bit weak against zone, I thought, so I just took the Rice Bale because 1, I had a point left over, 2, it could help me control the board a little bit for zone control.
Okay, no problem. He has, I'm looking at my notes here. He has 1 blow the man down, so I can knock somebody down. Target enemy model within 3 inches of a friendly Kaizuko. That model must make a size challenge test of 6 or be pushed 3 inches in any direction. So push or pull, because it's any direction. So fuck you. And become prone. So that's really handy. I like that event a lot. He took preordained because dice. I'm a big fan of preordained. He has Kamikaze, and he's dumped 3 rice in it. So that means he could have 3 models adjusting 1 inch. So that's 3 Kaizuko models. No, just friendly Jung models. Just friendly Jung models. So nothing is filthier than being able to have something move, 3. 3 models being able to reposition 1 inch and then come in, especially if you have the initiative and then smack you around. Speaking of wanting to have initiative, then there's Hiroto's new plan. Your opponent may choose to automatically win the tactical test their first turn. If they do, you may add an activation token to any friendly model. There's your Ken with 5 activations.
Yeah. That card has never worked for me.
It usually never does. No one's going to take that gamble. But there could be a point in time where they want to save a very special model, and they want to go first.
Because I actually had that in my sideboard at Adepticon, and I played it a couple, I think 2 games.
Yeah.
It never worked.
Well, you know what? That's because you don't play the gambling faction like Jason does. You don't play those Silver Moon, those dirty Silver Moon dudes.
Yeah. It's still a good card, especially coming in at 1 rice. If that was 2 rice, it wouldn't.
2 rice, no one would play it.
No. That's kind of the same thing. Preordain is such a good card. If that was 2 rice, I feel like it would be an auto include in every list.
If it was 2 rice, it would be stupid good. 3 rice is
you have to want it. Yeah.
Yeah. You're definitely gonna you're giving up something for that.
Yeah.
So that's Jason's Black Sails. Very aggressive. It looks like you're able to get lots of activations out there and potentially generate a metric ton of ki. His feats, his event cards, I like them all. Preordained, just to be able to control a dice roll is always a good thing. Kamikaze for that 1 turn when you want to move everything around and then go in for the kill. Hiroto's new plan, so that way either you're going to have 3 models with potentially 3 models with 3 activations, 1 model with 5 potential activations, or 2 models with 3 activations, because throw it on Ken, and you get the 1 to start. So potentially, again, I like that it's forcing choices. Not only I like that the list forces choices on my opponent. Mm-hmm. It's like basically you've got 3 choices you make. Do I want to kill Jung Tora? And I know what the consequences of that are. Do I want to at some point win the initiative test? Because most of the time, who the hell doesn't want to win the initiative test?
Right.
Do I want to win the initiative test knowing I'm going to give my opponent an activation? And then third, with alacrity, do I want to give that guy one key? Do I want to give Ken one key knowing that he'll all of a sudden become fearless and tough? Or do I give him an activation? So I like it that it's forcing choice. It's very Silver Moon-esque.
Yeah. Definitely.
Definitely very Silver Moon-esque. But I like it. I could see this being a fairly fun list to play.
Definitely a Jason list.
Definitely a Jason list. I like it. It's like a Silver Moon Ito thing with lots of sidestep defense and lots of screw you choices to make. The only thing that's not happening is a fuck ton of rerolls.
Thank God.
There's no FU in that list, let me tell you.
No.
All right. So that's the Black Sails. We're going to try to keep things moving here. So next up, why, it's me and my crappy Docks of Ryu theme. So keeping in mind, I have very little experience with Jung, but I'm putting together a list that I think would be fun to play. So what does Docks of Ryu do for us? Well, the main concho that it works with is Jung Minato. So he's a big burly dude. I like him. And my number 2 or number 3 choice for Junin is Yuji, that monkey carrying son of a gun. So what bonuses does this theme give me? Well, just like the other two, it gives me 2 bonuses. The first one, during the starting phase, choose 1 model to gain tireless until the end phase.
It's huge.
And the thing to keep in mind is that I probably didn't make a whole lot of choice with it, but it could be Ronin Kami, but that doesn't matter. It's any model. It's not just Kaizuko. It's not whatever. It's any model. So that's something to keep in mind. And then the other benefit that it gives is if your opponent has more victory points, hey, it's like it knows me. It knows that I'm going to lose. Then you may distribute an additional 2 key tokens amongst friendly Jung models in the key generation steps. So it's like this theme was tailor-made for me. It knows I'm going to lose, so hey, Greg, let's give you the benefit because we know you suck and you're going to lose. Permitted. Nah.
It's you submarining that first point to turn around and dice heat up, and with the 2 additional key, you pull out a 2/1.
Okay, Cody, let's be serious. When have my dice ever heated up?
Last week.
They didn't heat up. They got to average. If you call heating up getting to average, and yours tanking, and yours tanking, that's a very, very tenuous heating up. Permitted models, any Jung profile, and Ronin Kami. So I don't get a whole big selection of things, but especially of Ronin. Exclusions. Other Kancho or Junin than those listed. I can't take Kanami men, so no crab people, and no Sama men, no shark people. So that kind of sucks. I really am partial to the sharks.
Yeah.
So what did I take? Well, obviously, I took Jung Minato. He's 20 points. He's a Kancho. He's a samurai. He has 4 melee pool, 4 movement, 3 range, and he's 2/8 on his key. He could boost his melee, and he could boost his key by spending 3 rice. So that's cool. He has 2 weapons. He has an anchor that he's going to beat someone with for his melee. It's Brutal 1, Powerful Attack 0, and Push Attack 0 with a +1 melee strength. Cool. And then, hey, that same anchor is his ranged attack. So when I can't beat you with it, I'll just throw it at you. Range strength +1. It only shoots out to 3, and that's always at medium range. So it's only within 3 inches, and it's always going to be at medium. But the anchor is Brutal 1. So who doesn't like a ranged attack that's brutal, especially when I'm throwing 3 dice? He has 3 key feats. The first one is Batter. It's not batter like I'm making a pancake, people, although I might make a pancake out of the model that I hit with it. I'm trying to be clever, Cody. Come on, work with me here, okay? So it's 2 key to do this. Instant. It's personal. Until the end phase, models wounded by this model's melee attacks gain a stun marker. So it's important. Wounded by melee attacks gain a stun marker. So that's fun, kind of fun if I want to, put the hurt down on somebody else and make sure that they don't have a whole lot of dice to do anything. Second key feat is Circular Strike, which I'm pretty sure this has been rattled a little bit, but we'll run through this. It costs 3 key. It's a simple action. It's personal. Don't be in base to base with them, and I can only do it once per turn. This model gains aware until the end of this activation, then makes a range attack against each model in range and line of sight in any order. These attacks are not affected by the penalty for having made a range attack previously this turn. So basically, it takes the big old anchor and swings it around his head and smacks anything, friend or foe, until they're dead. That's basically fun. But you can only do it once per turn. Last is Smite. Not the video game.
I was going to say, I love that game.
I won't talk anymore. So it's 2 key, active and personal. This model's melee weapons gain slam attack 0 until the current activation is resolved. So you need to move something out of that zone. Slam attack it, baby. Smite it. He does have one unique effect, and this is what I love, because again, I'm the straightforward, I like to beat the crap out of something kind of person, which is probably why I lose a lot. While this model is in play, the melee weapons of Kaizuko in this model's warband gain powerful attack 1. Really wish it was powerful attack 0, but then it would be ridiculous. Powerful attack 1 is
be fun.
It would be fun, that's for sure. So powerful attack 1 it is. So I put, again, 1, it's built for him. Imagine him with Tireless. Just everybody's beating on him. And then he just goes,
gross.
And then goes and batters somebody or whatever. So he's going to put the hurt on a lot of things, and I enjoy him for that. And I like the effect that he does. Hibiki wants people to run around and go, hey, I'm kind of, don't hit me, and I'm making a lot of key doing it. Mari's kind of the same, except people are kind of aggressive and they're trying to get into combat, but what they can do when they get into combat really is based on that individual. This one's going to say, dude, I know you're a plain Kohanin, but now I'm going to make you into a fucking killing machine. Kind of, with powerful attack 1.
Yeah.
So that's what he's there for. Yuji, his first officer. What does Yuji offer? We talked about him a little bit last week, but we'll go through him quick. He's 17 rice. He's a Junin. He's 3 melee, 4 movement, 3 range, and 2/8 on his key. He could boost his melee, and he could boost his key stat by spending 3 rice. He has a katana, +1 melee strength. He gets counter strike defense 1. He also has a pistol. I like having a pistol so I could shoot things. +2 melee range strength, 369 on range, reload 2, pierce 2. Pretty much a standard pistol. He is aware. Don't surprise him. He has bravery. He's a brave dude. He has command. Kaizuko, he could command 2 of them up to 6 inches away. So that's kind of important, especially when you got a bunch of guys with powerful attack, but they don't necessarily have the key to boost to get that 4th die. So if I could gang up on people to start taking activations away, so much the better. He also has 3 key feats. The first one really kind of makes this is the one that kind of while Minato is really making his troops uber steroid fun, this is a guy that's harnessing that energy.
Yep.
Battle stations. Cost 3. It's an active, personal. Don't move. Don't be in base to base with somebody, and you can do it once per turn. Battle stations. This model gains Order Kaizuko up to 3, 8 inches away until the end phase. So he's basically he's getting order. What does order do, you say? That's a good question. I got to remember it myself. Order. This model may declare a complex action, so it is a complex action, so that kind of sucks. But if so kind of keep that in mind. But this model nominates, in this case, 3 Kaizuko models within 8 inches, and each one of them gains 1 activation counter. So now I have 3 models that all have powerful attack that have an extra activation. Can't really work it well by using command, unfortunately, because command, I think, also is a simple action.
Yeah.
But I like those activation counters. That's for darn sure.
Well, and it's nice having that flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
You could command them, or you could order them. you know, depending, like if you need to use the inspiration for, like if you're going to command, or if you have it to do order and inspiration, that's even better. But
yeah. He's he's probably the guy that I'm going to hold back, and he's not a bad guy to hold back, to be honest. 6 wounds, you know, even though he doesn't have armor or anything, he's got the pistol. You know, he commands 2 of the guys to get up front, maybe throws an inspiration on him, or maybe holds off so that way he can get battle stations the next turn, pops a shot off with his second action, you know, on the turn. You know, so he's going to be he's going to be your backstop for everybody else. You're having everybody go forward and just beat the crap up, and then he's kind of cleaning up, either supporting or maybe flipping idols if everything's going well, or he's, you know, giving those extra activations to your grunt troops, the Kaizuko. His second key feat is inspiration, cost 2, active. You target one of your friendly guys within 6. You can only do it once per turn. Target friendly faction model with rice cost less than this model, so he's not doing it to Minato. Gains +1 to its melee pool or range pool until the end phase. So again, want that 4th die so that way someone can use their powerful attack? Easy to do. And his last one is Samus Warning. Cost 2 key, active, targeted 6 inches. This is what the little monkey does. When something's about to go bad, little monkey jumps on your shoulder and screams in your ear that you need to look out.
And throws poop.
Target model gains 6 cents until the end of the phase. How a screaming monkey gives you 6 cents, I don't know, but it just works that way. So again, he is probably the ultimate support model, and I think he really helps. He accentuates Minato very well. And with Docs of Ryu, you're going to make one of those Kaizuko or Minato be a real beast, especially if you get him stuck in. He does have a unique effect before or after resolving any action. This model will make a range attack with its pistol. This does not cause the model to lose its activation counter. So you could do command, still shoot your gun, same turn. I can do battle stations and shoot my gun.
Yeah.
So lots of stuff that he could do there. Then spend the rest of the time trying to reload it. Because, you know, that's how it's going to have to work. But yeah, so it's very doable. And again, that's why I kind of like him as that backline. He's that backline support model. He's 17. But as backline support models go, somebody's going to bushwhack him. Do you really want to do that? Dude's aware. He could actually hold his own ground. So I like it. it. Okay, so who do we put in there that is going to help us out? I better open my book so I know what I'm doing. So I took a lot of crappy, I shouldn't say crappy, Jung guys. I took 2 of the Karusi. Somebody will correct me, I hope to God. So I took 2 of the guys. They're basically the fishermen.
The net dudes.
And again, I kind of went on this. This is the docks of Ryu. So who am I going to find on the docks? I'm going to find sailors and I'm going to find fishermen. So I took lots of both. So I got 2 of the fishermen, 10-point models. They are Kaizuko, 3 melee pool, 4 movement, 2 range, 1 6 on the key. They could only boost their melee stat by spending 3 rice. They have 2 weapons. Well, 2 weapons essentially, but one could be used as range, one could be used as melee. They have the fish gutter because they're fishermen. It's +0 on melee strength and nothing else, except for the fact that they'll have powerful attack on it because Minato's with them. They also have a net, which is special, so it's not going to do any damage. I could only throw it out to 3 inches, and it's always going to be at medium range. Ammo 1, entangling, and lightweight. So I can move, throw it on somebody, and they become immobilized. That works for me. Or I have my net attack as a melee, which is +0 on strength, and it's a grapple attack 1. So I got to lose a die to do it. But if I'm inspired, then I'm back up to 3. So if I want to really immobilize a target, make sure it doesn't go anywhere and loses some dice, and then my buddies come up and beat the crap out of it with their powerful attacks, that's something.
Yeah.
They have jump up, so that's good. He has 2 key feats. The first one costs 1 rice. It's an instant personal is balance. Model gains immune to prone until the current activation is resolved. So if I don't want to get knocked down, because I could still get knocked down and somebody could bushwhack me while I'm laying on the ground, because jump up doesn't kick in until I'm active, this makes sure that I don't have to worry about that. His second key feat is the one that I really like, especially for in this list, is Dirty Fighting. Cost 2, active, personal. Enemy models cannot declare the use of special attacks or defenses in melee exchanges with this model until the current activation is resolved. Because usually they're probably going up against somebody who's got like sidestep defense or combo or some stupid gross thing. Eagle flight defense.
Yeah, eagle flight.
You know, yeah, no, you're just not doing that. You don't get that. You don't get powerful attack. You don't get whatever. Well, just because I'm a dirty fighter, and that's how that works. And then just pile that in with his fish gutter, and it's lots of fun. Unique effects. This model only, just like the net on Ashinaga Taganaga, this model only removes an ammo token when it makes a successful range attack, and if this model has no ammo token on its net weapon, it loses the net weapon. So basically, once I throw it and I'm successful with my attack with it, I no longer have that option, which is fine. Because he's probably going to have 3 activations because I battle station him. I net someone so they can't move and they're immobilized, and I jump them with a whole bunch of Karasu, all stabbing them with their powerful attack fish gutters. Sounds kind of cool.
It does.
Whether it actually works or not, I don't know, but it sounds cool. So that's basically why I took him there. Is I took him because I want numbers. I want lots of Kaizuko. Are there better Kaizuko out there? Yes. Are there more expensive Kaizuko out there? Hell yes. But I want Minato is going to make these guys feel like they're 10 feet tall, and Yuji's going to give them the extra activation so that they could feel that way. You know, they could do something when they get there, or command them so they could jump. So so that way they both can jump on something and get some extra bonuses on that. And they're 10-point models. So if they're flipping idols or something, I don't care. And I'm probably going to have, if I'm worrying about zone, I'm probably going to have, 2 of these guys, maybe a third model in there. So somebody else is going to have 3 models to be able to score the zone. They're going to get the rice cost on me probably with 1 model. Shit. Hiroto, Black Eagle, is 27. I'm these 2 are 10. So 20 points. He's got me on that. Even the third model's making it iffy.
Right.
But the trick is all I need is that third model, and then he can't score a point. Neither can I. Oh no, I do, because I'm 30 points. Never mind. Math sucks.
Math is hard.
Math is hard. So what else did I take in this list to support my Korusi? I took Kohanin. How many did I take? All of the Kohanin.
7.
7 of them. If I could take 7, I probably would have.
I
only took 2 because that's all they gave me. So we've already talked about them. They're your stock dudes with athleticism, makes them kind of fun. Giving them an extra activation makes them even more fun. Idle flippers, jumping targets, whatever. I could flood the middle zone with 4 figures, and you're going to have to chew through all 4, or at least 2 of them, to the point where you may be able to score that zone, or just push them out. That's fine, but then they're coming back at you, possibly with 3 of them with 3 activations next turn if Yuji has his way. So really trying to swamp you with numbers, really, and any one of those guys could be the one that comes in with a powerful attack. I have 2 guys hit you in, as long as you're not tireless, you're getting, I'm hitting, take an activation. Somebody else comes in, hits, takes an activation. That's command. So now you're done. That guy's exhausted and has 2 models on him. So then I have my third guy come in. So you're down 1 for exhausted, down 2 because you have 2 extra guys on you. And then my guy hits you with powerful attack. I think that's a solid plan.
I like it.
If it works.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 it won't work. But in my mind, that's how I'm envisioning it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have to worry about Minato decided to come in and just beat the shit out of you, or just take out his own guys by spinning his anchor around his head because he hates everybody. He might have been drinking. So those are the Kohanin. Next model I took, as I said, there are some more expensive models, and I may have taken one That's Kaizuko. But I didn't. It's show because I needed more. But he has sweep because I always like knocking things down. So now I could jump you, have him come in as first attacker, knock you down on command. Maybe I'll inspire him to make sure it works. Then the other Kazuko comes in with a fish gutter. And while you're down and outnumbered, then I gut you like a fish with my powerful attack.
Get you alive.
Gonna gut you like a fish. So that's show. Again, another number the Kaizuko, except he has the added advantage of he can knock somebody down with his sweep attack when he gets it. Plus, bleed is always nice to have. I always like throwing that extra stuff. Takes me back to my Poison Ito days. I miss them. And then my last model, I said I was going to put some more expensive models in. I did. I took Musa. It's like all of us made our list together.
Well, like we said in top 3, basically just plug and play captains, and the lists play completely different.
And this definitely plays different from your list, and it definitely plays way different from Jason's list.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of aggressive. The one thing I'll say, the overarching theme that I'll say, is they're all very aggressive, or can be, except everybody's aggressive in a different way. Everybody's getting up the field. Hibiki's crew gets up the field. They're just dancing around you.
Mm-hmm.
Jason's group gets up the field and they can engage you and whatnot. It's just, you're going to have to make that choice. Do I kill Tora? Do I give an extra activation to Ken? So I have some choices which could in the end screw me over or have me win the game really big. Flip a coin, see what happens. My list just, I'm coming up and I'm going to beat you in the face. That's it. There's no subtlety to it. That's my plan. The only thing that I did with Musa that's different from everybody else is because he does not have any melee prowess, I gave him Hotai's coin.
It's a good choice.
He's probably going to be my tireless target, and he's probably also going to be the target I throw inspiration on the most. If I'm throwing inspiration out.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm putting inspiration on him is he's aggressive, so that way I can make him 2/2. Tireless, I want him on it because he is Indomitable 1. So if my opponent decides to swamp me to try to take me out,
you take 3 models instead of 2.
It'll take 3 models instead of 2, and I succeed in tying up more models.
And in most cases, that's half a warband.
Mm-hmm. And then he could still, and then he still has his activations when he attacks back. It only costs me 1 to get Ren, so I'm on brutal.
Yeah.
And then I could flip the script now, And inspire lasts the whole round, so I have 4 all the time. I might be down 1 if they swamp me with 3 models, but that like you said, that's a significant amount of models to commit to something.
Yeah.
In worst case, I could always just push one of them away. Keep it even that way. So those are the figures that are in my force. Again, I went for a really aggressive kind of beatdown, and he's kinds of loads of fun too when he gets that powerful attack 1. Although I'll be honest, I'm probably combo attacking with him. So of my guys, he's the least likely to take advantage of powerful attack. But it's there.
Well, yeah, when you have brutal and stuff, it's even if you inspire, throwing the 4 dice if I'm
confident. If I'm confident, If I'm confident I'm going to take that target out, if let's say my guys have gone in and worked somebody, I gave the command and I had Show go in, knock somebody down. I have somebody else come in and just kind of put the hurt on them, so their activation counters are gone. So they're knocked down, they're exhausted, and they're outnumbered. So they're down 3. Now they'll be down 2 because I'll have 2 on them. Musa comes in for the finish. Fuck combo attack. I'll just powerful attack and put them out of their misery.
Yep.
Because I'm going to have 5 dice instead.
Or if he's going up against skelly dudes, then
combo attack all the live long day. God, I hate those guys. All right. Next. So that's pretty much all the figures in my list. I had 2 events. I had... that's the wrong thing. I got to go back to here. I got to remember how many I had. I had Kamikaze and I had Blow the Man Down. Now, probably I did not take full effect of Kamikaze. I only have 1 of each. Oh, no, I did. So I put 2 into Kamikaze, so I'll be able to jockey around 2 guys, which again is very, very helpful, especially when I want to outnumber targets and try to take. Again, I'm kind of doing what the wolves do, but not as well. I'm making little packs, but I have the numbers to do it. Where wolves, it's like I'm usually doing 2, maybe a third one gets in there. I'm really banking I'm going to have at least 3. I'm going to put 2 Kaizuko and the Karasu on one. I'm going to put, Musa, a Kaizuko, and Sho on another. And then Minato is just running around wreaking havoc, and Yuji could jump in whenever he feels like it, or more than likely he's just picking a shot off or he's boosting crap as he's going along. And then blow the man down, because why bother doing a sweep attack when I could just knock something down?
Yeah. And push it out of his zone.
So, push it out of the zone, then everybody jumps on it, and then I have Yuji standing in the zone going, come at me, bro. But you got to go through a wall of Kaizuka. That's the plan. Would I run this out of the tournament? Probably. Would it do well? Maybe.
Who knows?
I think it's susceptible to control. I really thought about taking one of the Shingunja in there just to be able to get rid of control effects. I think control really messes this up a lot. There's a lot.
Drop a Kohanan for a Kami of Reflection.
Could. No. I can't take Ramen Kami. Yeah. It's a thought. I mean, there's lots of things I could throw in there, but right now I'm trying to maximize the effect of having everybody with powerful attack 1, so that way, if I get the outnumbers, if I get the knockdowns, then I'm putting the hurt on something. Because again, I'm going to have a hard time dealing with armor in general, but when I'm powerful attack 3, even Minimoto armor is only, if it's a 3 armor, I'm a +0. I could deal with that. Then they're just mortal and down on the ground and outnumbered. Although if they're, bear stands alone, that kind of blows, but whatever.
Bleeding and gutted like a fish.
Gut you like a fish, boy. That's what they want to do.
Yep.
So that's my Doxarayu. Let me know what you think about it. Is it absolutely horrible and I shouldn't play Jung and I should be mocked off the boards? Yeah, go ahead. Let me know that. I appreciate it.
You'd be good. I mean, otherwise we would have been mocked a long time ago, and then it wouldn't be Bungles After Dark. It'd be like Bungles After the Grave or something.
Our acronym is bad, so as we've been told.
Finally. Yeah, we finally learned.
That was your content meeting.
It doesn't take us a while to learn anything. All right, so moving on, because we're already drifting into the Twilight Zone here. Cody's landing party theme. Now, I'll be honest, Cody, I screwed up and thought I was supposed to do landing party. So I have a list. I will not share it. I might put it in the notes, my landing party. So what is your landing party?
Well, I thought you were doing
better than mine. I am doing Conclave.
Oh, okay.
I recovered.
Okay, good. Because I was like, I wanted to do Conclave, and then you're like, I'll do Conclave. And I was like, that's fine. I'll do landing party. So landing party, this is the theme that came with the starter set. So it has the first effect of once per game during any starting phase, Kaizoku models gain tough 1 while in base to base with an objective within a scenario zone, or while a VIM until the end phase. So that could be really good.
That's very good. I would say, now this is just me personally, I think that makes this one really good in zone.
Yeah,
sure.
I definitely think it's better in a zone mission over an idle mission. But
it's not bad either way. It's not bad either way.
But the tough 1, you can't go wrong.
No.
You're taking a wound away, so it's nice. And then the second effect is during the last turn of the game, Kaizoku models gain +2 moves. So if Sho is your VIM, he's booking it across the board if he's alive.
Is Cody signaling that he's used Sho in this list? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. So exclusion, Kanjo, so no captains, and you can only take 1 Juhin. So you can take any of the Juhin, but you can only take 1.
It's kind of like the Highlander of themes. There can only be 1.
There can only be 1. So, for my first model,
Thank you for your patience. This is the Junin you took for it, Jung Tora, making choices.
I went back and forth on the Juhin multiple times. I originally picked Ran just because she's 4 melee, she's a solid fighter. And then I started looking at event cards, and I was like, let's play a little death sentence game. So I took Jung Tora. We've already gone over her, solid. She gives you that option of, is she going to sidestep around you and throw daggers, or is she going to run in kind of off herself and put death sentence on the opposition?
She's not suiciding, you're forcing your opponent to kill her.
Well,
no, it's totally suiciding. That was one of the reasons why I took her. Plus, she fit in the theme. Is if I get her killed, I'm putting death sentences on everybody. Which
I get you.
Easier.
So I did my usual, put an eye patch on someone with a ranged weapon because I needed points. So,
we'll see that for sure.
Yeah, it's nice being able to throw the daggers. If you're sidestepping around people and throwing daggers, if you get the surprise off the eye patch, you kind of drop it down to a negative or a +1 modifier instead of a +2 because it's surprised and whatnot. So it's really not that bad, but it is something to just be aware of.
For sure. No, I think it's a good choice. It's an interesting take on it. So I'm waiting to see what else we have here. So we ready for the next slide?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Here we go. We're getting the meat of it now. Oh boy!
And I finally found the maximize screen so I can read cards now. So here we took a crab again, except this time we took the Itziro Crab Swarm. Ooh. So this guy, he's got 3 hit points, so his melee and key stat are 3.
Nice.
Move of 4, and he's got the claws, the -2 sidestep defense and attack at 0. But the Itziro Crab Swarm, he has durable, fearless, swarm, and tireless. And because of the memes, I had to give the crab the knife.
Well, yeah.
So with the knife, he goes. I still can't read. Is that
it's +1 sides? Yeah, +1 melee strength,
and then the pierce 1,
and sidestep defense and attack.
Yeah, and it specifies, you can't give equipment to animals, but the knife you can give to crab models. So,
he's a crab.
I think it would be fun killing people with a crab with a knife. And I was just like, why not? So we took a crab with a knife. It's tireless. And if there's death sentence markers, you could really capitalize with a 3 melee pool durable crab. So why not?
Nothing wrong with anything that you've said in that statement. All right, so Citizen Snips, now armed and dangerous.
Yes.
So next up, and tiny target. That's always a pain in the ass to shoot. Oh my gosh, it's Show!
The man, the myth, the legend.
4 out of 4, baby.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's really hard not to take this model. At 9 rice, he's unique. He can be your VIM, like I alluded to. Even if your opponent declares him as your VIM, you're not really at as much of a loss as like if it was one of the witches or something. Because he can get in, get down and dirty, but having the sweep attack and drag and whatnot, plus dodge built in, he is survivable.
Yeah, the Kohanin themselves are pretty damn good because with athleticism they could dodge and they get jump up, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yeah, they get jump up. But he has it already baked in, and the sweep attack I think makes it. But again, why not take him? It's just a third Kohanin who's 1 point better, and you actually get a benefit out of it. So
exactly. So yeah, that's Show.
All right, Show doing show stuff.
And then we have
more Kohanin.
More Kohanin. I gotta look up and see how many I took. Just one.
Just one. Yeah.
Same reason. Just he's a Kohanin. Why not?
Gotta get the numbers.
Yep.
Gotta have those flippers.
Yeah.
And with tough in a zone. And that's the other thing to keep in mind. Once you put those models in a zone or in a base to base with us, they're doing your dirty work. They're not your murderers. They're not your big point models. They're going to be scoring you the points. So giving them tough, that's pretty good. Especially the crab.
It is. Yeah, the crab. I love that thing.
All right. So then, it's Moose. Oh my God.
Moose. Yep.
We're all like,
I apologize, people. It's like you're seeing the same damn list 4 times in a row. But like we said, just flip the captains or take them out, and it's a totally different thing.
It's hard too, because like I was looking at Dury, the guy with the pistols.
Mm-hmm. I looked at him.
I was looking at a couple of the other models, even Jory, but just they weren't gelling with what I wanted to do. And with Musa being a real harasser, that was what I was going for. So
yep,
that's why I took him.
I can't. I mean, again, Musa does what he does very, very well, and you need some meat in there, and he can do it. He brings it.
Yeah.
He almost reminds me of like a silverback, but with combo, and he's immune prone. And we all know how the Bushido community feels about the silverbacks.
Not quite, but
silverback's still better. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that. Yeah.
I was gonna take Ryujin in my Queen of the Waves list, but then I was like, I don't want to have Ryujin being all 4 basically. Well, I know he can't go in. Can he go in Black Sails? I don't remember.
He can.
I think
he's not. It's if it says any profile, it can.
Yeah, it says any drunk profile for Black Sails.
Yeah, because he's a spirit of the deep ocean, which that would be very wordy to actually put.
Right. So anyway, I was thinking you guys were gonna be taking him more, so I was like, I'll do a list without and a list with, and I decided to take the landing party just for kind of kicks and giggles. But then with the death sentence manipulation that I'll have in this list, Ryujin will be eating things, so.
Oh, yeah.
We covered him quite a bit in our last podcast, but Ryujin, he is the giant sea dragon coming in at a whopping 30 rice. He's 3 attack, 3 ranged, 4 move, 310 for key, and he starts the game with 10, just so you're all aware.
Very important. Always starts the game with 10.
It's okay. He doesn't need 10. Wasapu will appreciate it.
Yeah. All of those abilities are boostable by 3. And he's got a bite with Pierce 2, Sharp 2, Drag Attack 0, Force Back Attack 0, Slam Attack 0, and it is +4 melee strength. And then he has a ranged ability, Tidal Force. It has Combo 1, Drag Attack 0, Force Back Attack 0, +0 for the strength, and the range is 4, 6, 8. He has Believer Shugenja 1-2, Cloud Walk, Fear 6. He is a Kami, Sixth Sense, Solace, and Tough 2. He has the Key Feat, which is amazing, and that is Tsunami. It is 2 key, simple, pulse of 3 inches, cannot move, cannot be base to base. And that is the Key Feat where enemy models in the pulse make a size challenge test of 7 or be moved directly away from this model until they hit impassable terrain. And a model which passes its or a model that passes its size challenge test, or until they've moved 8 inches. And if another
clear
model
section of the board out,
if another model is contacted by a model being moved by this feat, it must make a size challenge 6 or be pushed along with the original model. So, that's huge. And the other thing to be aware of is that the models that it contacts, I don't think it matters if they're friendly or enemy, so just be aware of that.
Yeah, you could push your old guys out, but again, that might not be the worst thing in the world either. So.
Right.
Because, he's 30 points. That's going to take... That's exactly 3 Korasu fishermen with their fish gutters to equal 1 Ryujin.
And that would even be if they could fit in the zone that Ryujin would be in, unless
being a 50 millimeter base, there's not a lot. Well, if it's an 8-inch zone, maybe, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So he also has the unique effect of incoming tide, so the area with an X of this model is considered difficult, and models in this area gain immune fire and cover. X is the current turn number.
So turn 3, it's a 3-inch zone around his 50 millimeter fat ass base.
So just be aware of that when shooting, just because you can provide cover to the enemy models and make it harder to shoot them.
Yes.
And then he also has the unique effect of if a Water Lesser Kami model ends its activation and base to base with this model, remove it from play, and this model gains key tokens equal to the Water Kami's remaining key. So that's always nice. Water Kami comes with 3 base, I believe, so he's at that point, he's already healing 3 a turn. He can get up to 6 if you made a really aggressive play and the Water Kami was able to keep up. But yeah, Ryujin, I had to put him in a list because, like I said in the other podcast, I have a love-hate relationship with him. I love the model. I love using him. He just hates me.
Well, I think it's also you had the very, very steep learning curve with Ryujin, and we got the first 2 times we did it, we got the rules wrong.
Yeah, but
There is
he's one of those models. We've said it time and time again. You just got to be careful. He wants to be aggressive, but you also don't want to be too aggressive only because he is 30 rice.
Yes, he is 30 rice. There's lots that you could do with him, and with landing party, again with the zone control that you're going to have, and then him pushing out enemy models, keeping your tough guys in, keep the tough guys in, keep the other guys out. Yes, that's going to be very fun. So we saw that you were spamming to get points. So what else do we have in this list?
We have Taiho.
The new Taiho model. I even put the picture of what this new model looks like.
Yeah.
This guy's.
I was
kind of
looking at
sitting
the
there.
3D render. Like I legit thought that they forgot to put a leg on this guy, and not just like his.
That's why Cody gave him a peg leg.
Peg leg.
We should fashion one for it. It's removable.
Yeah. So Taiho, he's the newest model for Jung. He's coming in at 16 rice. He has 2 melee, 3 ranged, 3 move, and a key stat of 1/6. His melee is boostable by 3. He is also coming in with 7 hit points, which is outside of the norm for Kaizoku. But he's a big beefy boy, even though he's only on a 30 mil base. But he's a big beefy boy. So he has a heavy barrel with stun attack 1, and the card says special, but I believe it's been errated to +0 for melee strength.
You're swinging a giant ass cannon at someone.
Yeah. And then he has a ranged cannon shot. It is Pierce 2, Reload 2, Ammo 2, Stun Attack 0, +4 for damage. Can only shoot at medium range, and that range is 18 inches. I love that.
Yeah, medium range, just out to 18. Screw it. Let's save those brackets for something else more important.
So wait, it has ammo and reload, so you basically can take 2 shots with it before you have to reload.
No. You essentially are only going to get 2 shots, and you have to still reload.
Yeah.
And yes, Cody, you're right on the errata. Heavy barrel melee weapon was wrong. Has wrong damage modifier. Changed to SP2 +0. Yeah. You are correct.
So he has jump up, slow, and strong as his base feats. He has the ability cannon manipulation. This is a key feat, I should say. It is 2 key, active, personal, once per turn. And when this model declares a ranged attack action, choose one of the following until the current ranged attack action is resolved. His cannon weapon gains slam attack 0. Draw a line between this model and target model. Any model the line crosses, and any model within 1 inch of those models gains a fire 2 marker. And if the attack is successful, center a 2-inch pulse on the target model. Other models within the pulse suffer a damage roll with the same success level as the target model and gain a stun marker.
Yeah, it's a load of that, and that's why you only shoot it twice per game, Jace.
Oh, I get that,
even
but
if
I
you
just want to
reload.
make sure. I just want to make sure I understood it. All I know though is now officially Bushido is becoming kind of like War Machine because now I got to pull out the line laser and I got to see who's in my line of fire and who's getting that fire marker. I'm just saying.
If you choose to do that one.
Oh, dude, why wouldn't I?
Well,
I mean, the
like
other one. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The pulse one's actually pretty good too.
Yeah.
But
I mean, honestly, you could just use a measuring stick and you'll know what's underneath things. So it's
Yeah.
not,
I
think it's kind
really you're going to be shooting at probably like 8 inches, so it's not going to be that crazy.
nah, bro. I'm gonna stick at the baseline and I'm just gonna
all
unload
those
that thing.
Bakemono. I'm going with the pulse.
Yeah, going with the pulse. So his unique effect is this model may not walk as part of a ranged attack action. I mean, he's carrying a giant cannon, so yeah.
But he's strong.
Well,
Yeah,
still, it's
still
cannon.
It's cannon.
And then he begins the game with 2 reload markers. So I am glad that got put in, even though I want to be shooting turn 1.
I do.
This model would just be beyond broken.
Are you kidding me? Shooting turn 1, goodbye Tengu, goodbye Ito models there. Like, I got to the zone. Oh,
Yeah.
and there's their body parts scattered all over the zone.
I am glad that they kind of reined him in a little bit with that. So that is nice. And then his cannon, the opposing player may not nominate a new target during a ranged attack made with this weapon. Bodyguard may be used as normal. So,
which is nominating a new. Nominating your substitute. You're switching the
bodyguard.
target.
You can't
you throw a model in the one.
Yeah.
Basically the 1
So
inch.
basically,
model.
the 1 inch. You can't do something that's within 1 inch and switch the target up for it.
I
got it.
do wish that some of the stuff would, make it so bodyguard didn't work, but I get it.
Give him Deadeye. Give him Deadeye.
I don't even. I think Deadeye was changed too. It doesn't negate bodyguard anymore, but I'd have to look at that again. But anyway, so then I gave him peg leg because when the model kind of looks like he's missing a leg, but
it gives
also,
you more points.
Yeah, it gives me a -1 rice for the warband, and attached model gains unstable and cannot declare run or charge actions.
Shocking.
He's slow anyways, so he can't declare run actions.
As soon as your enemy moves 6 inches up the board, which they're going to do, they're at medium range.
Right.
So
that's
if he moves off the baseline, I'll be shockingly surprised.
He'll only move off the baseline when he gets jumped by Black Eagle in the face.
Right. So yeah, and it is exclusion models with light-footed. I know I've seen a lot of people giving peg leg to a Kohanin, and I've been like, is that legal? But yeah. So out of the list, it made sense to give it to him. He doesn't want to move anyways, and I like free points for my warband, so why not?
And you needed it.
Yeah.
All right. So.
And then we have
Cody's
all my fun stuff. So I took 2 copies of Bounty. So I'm putting 2 death sentence markers out at the start of the game. Mm-hmm. And then when Jung Tora hopefully inevitably dies, putting more death sentences out. And Taiho is shooting the living crap out of something.
Yeah, get some.
And then I took Kamikaze at 1 rice. Okay. So, yeah, that was all my points.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I'll pull up my list and battle scribe again. So, yeah, this list.
Yeah, you took it at 1 rice. Yep.
Yeah, so this list, just the models alone, comes in at what is that? 100 rice. So taking the peg leg and the eye patch gives me 5 extra rice to spend, and that is what allowed me to take the 2 bounties and the kamikaze. Right. So essentially, this list is playing at 105 rice.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, so like I said, it's really trying to manipulate that death sentence. Hopefully you can get it on stuff that you can capitalize on it, or even, like if you put it on Jason's favorite, Harukichi, then he really has to decide, am I putting the aura of annoying freaking rerolls up, or am I getting rid of death sentence because I know stuff is coming, or I have a cannonball that can shoot me from 18 inches away?
Yeah, no, that aura's still going up, dude. I'll figure out a way.
I'll take the cannonball, bitch.
I'll gamble to get my extra stuff, or I'll just like Fuku my way out of it.
Preordained.
Yeah, but that was kind of the thought process behind this, was just like, all right, what can we manipulate? Death sentence, sure, let's go with that. And
how can I out Silver Moon Jason? The answer is you can't. It's like trying to out Pizza the Hut. You can't do it.
I wasn't trying to out Silver Moon you. I'm just putting a bunch of stuff on you that make it easier to kill your crap
faster.
Yeah. So I kind of like the idea behind that. I don't know if I'd necessarily take this list to a Grand Master. I would totally play this list in a store tournament, or even like a Masters event.
Regular Masters.
Yeah. Not saying it wouldn't do well at a Grand Master. I just think Queen of the Waves, Black Sails, or Docks, maybe even Conclave is better. Mm-hmm. Just because the captains are really good.
Yeah.
Not that your whole list needs to revolve around them, but they kind of do, just with the benefits that they give for your Kaizoku. So, that's my landing party, which I think only has one model from the starter box.
There you go. All right. That's what we got. So we get to me with the icing on the cake. As Cody said, we have the Conclave of Captains. Now, before I flip the slide, I'm going to tell you, my thought process when I was making this, I went all the way back to the Pirates of the Caribbean 3 movie, where they had the big meeting of all the pirates. And plus, then I saw that I could take Hiroto Drunken Master in there. So I'm like, And then I had some choices to make. So, first, the Conclave of Captains theme. It's in the cycle deck. So if you haven't seen it and trying to figure out where the hell it's at, it's in the cycle deck.
I believe
it's
in the cycle deck.
Yes. It's Risen Sun, because it's got the Risen Sun in the top left.
Yep. So the theme of the Conclave of Captains is what the benefit, again, just like everything else, has two benefits. The first one is friendly Concho models gain coordinated attack Concho. So if there's another captain, you get a benefit of fighting with that captain. Bonus. And then Kaizuko models get the villager type, which, okay, that means you're probably
Ashinaga Tanaga's going
taking
in there.
Ashinaga, which I did not. He did not fit into what I was thinking. Exclusions, which is weird because usually it's permitted then exclusions, but exclusions are Junin other than Tora, which I think is kind of funny. No crab people, Kanaminiman, and Salmon Miniman. Shark dudes. Yes.
It's Pikachu.
So no crabs, no sharks, only Tora.
See, that's kind of lame. Like a majority of these themes don't let you take any of the cool shark or crab people.
Actually, some of the themes do. So it's not that big a deal, but it's okay because I kind of broke this one. Permitted are Ronin yokai, so your Ashinaga Tanaga, shocking, or Kappa.
Yeah.
Jung models, so any of the other Jung models, as long as they're not crabs, Junin, or sharks, and Hiroto the Drunken Master. So my idea when I put this list is the captains are all getting together and they're bringing Hiroto back because they want to really screw over Ryu and everybody else. So they got together and they teamed up to do that, and Hiroto, of course, has fallen in love with one of the Jungs. So you'll see what that is once I get into it.
So Hiroto's basically Captain Jack Sparrow in this situation. He's our Johnny Depp.
Captain, he might be your Johnny Depp. Very fat and slight. I don't know if I'd say bald, but
I was going to say, so Johnny now?
Johnny's
after his mega pints of wine.
Johnny's still in good shape, man.
I love Johnny.
Everybody does.
That's the problem. So I have to take captains. So so my list essentially takes 0 Kaizuko.
What?
None. No, I will guarantee there's 100% no show. No show in this list, boys. So I got Jung Hibiki. We've already run through him and everything that he could do. So there's no Kaizuko who are going to be making any key off of his feet, but who cares? because he'll get coordinated attack with one of his other fun dudes. And I gave him a hand cannon because who doesn't want to shoot the hell out of something when they can?
Exactly.
Next, Jung Mari, because why? She's a concho. So I needed more captains. And her leadership actually is very helpful for the other captains who, shockingly, are not terribly brave. Well, they are brave, but it's me. I'm going to screw up that roll. I could use the +1. Enough said. She doesn't have Kaizuko to throw in the way, but who cares? She could fight for herself.
Jeez.
Damn.
Sorry, race burners are like going out on the freeway.
I should be hearing it shortly.
Really
just
big
down
car,
the road from you.
It's still going. Sorry.
I know. So Jung Mari, she'll be able to do that. She fights also real well, and hey, she's got a pistol too, so we could f things up at range, close range, but it's still range. Jung Minato. This is where it starts to get fun, my children. So he's my big beat stick. Hey, he's a concho too, so he could go and get the coordinated attack bonus. But on him, in addition to his other key feats, I've thrown 2 things on him. I've thrown a piece of equipment and an enhancement, which I could do that because I learned I could take 2 enhancements, but I could only take 1 equipment. I'm learning. Rules. So I took a vial of Rajin's breath, which now I need to expand this so I can read, even with my new glasses. I gained the following key feat: Rajin's breath. It costs me 1. I have to be active. Model gains +2 move and cloud walk until the current activation is resolved. Then discard this card. Cool. So now he moves 6 with cloud walk.
So he flies over,
and then I also have him no quarter, which gives him war cry, which costs me 2. Until the current action is resolved, this model gains fear 6. Nice. So my plan is, without seeing what my other 2 models do, because who cares about them? It's really about Minato. Is he goes jumping in on somebody and either gets into a big group of them, like boom, he goes down, the ground gives a giant quake. They all go scattering about because he's spinning his freaking hands. He's on turn 2. He's jumping in the pile of a whole bunch of little wimpy 1-key dudes. Lands in the middle, and then he swings that anchor around, knocking their asses down, or giving them or just hitting them and killing them. It's a brutal one. Everything within 3 inches gets slaughtered by him. Or he just engages something that nobody's expecting, because who's thinking he's going to charge across 6 or something like that and beat the living shit out of them, and making them scared, which would then also allow, though, once he moves in with that strike, his good friend Hibiki to move in, getting the coordinated attack bonus, because he can vault over there with his 5 movement and by getting cloud walk. Thinking. This list totally would blow, but I would totally play it.
Oh no, I think it would be a blast.
Oh, it would be hilarious. So those, that's just some of my thought process on that. And again, coordinated attack. So I've got 3 models that are gaining coordinated attack. It's like a little wolf pack. So now we get into the love story of this conclave of captains. Who does our drunken master love? I'm giving away what my last model is. Miyakomo Kora. She's so mysterious and dark. She's sad.
Listening.
She's sad because her drunken master has now come back and going to war for her, and she's going to help him. So Miyakomo Kora, 17 rice Shigunja, 2 melee, 3 ranged, 4 movement, 2 8 on the key. She can boost her range by spending 3 rice, or she could boost her key by spending 2. She has sorcery because, well, she's a Shigunja. That's what they do. It's -2 melee strength, so it's weird sorcery that she has to actually hand-to-hand with them, so that's kind of bizarre, but we'll go with it. Sidestep defense 1, so not doing that often. Drag attack 0, probably not doing that much. And finally, force back attack 0. She might do that. Very doubtful.
I'm not gonna lie, she's got some legit hand-to-hand abilities.
Yeah, but she only has 2 and can't boost it, so...
I know, but still.
No. But she does have title push, so when I want to keep things out of the zone, I can, and she can boost her range. So it's special. She's not going to do any damage with it. And she has to declare a special attack. So she can either do its range is 369, so it's close. She's either going to do a drag attack, pull them in, which is great because if she's by the conclave of captains, all three of them jump them, and then game over, dude. Force back attack, push them away, or sweep attack 2. So that one's a little more dicey because she'd have to sacrifice 2 of her dice in order to do it, which means she's probably spending 3 to get up to 2 dice to try to knock something down. But knocking something down is always fun. She is immune to fire because probably... No,
she's made of water.
Yeah, she's made of water. I was going to say she's dripping wet, but that...
Oh, there goes the explicit...
So high school. Shame on both of you.
You're the one that said it.
I meant it. Yeah. Light-footed. and she has willpower 1. So she is a mean customer when she's doing any of her key feats. Am I worried about any of my people getting control markers? Hell no, because she has cleansing. It's complex, though, so I'm not going to do that often. Cleansing is a X complex pulse X. Don't have somebody in base to base. I remove up to X control, disease, fire, poison, or spirit block markers from models within the pulse's area of effect. X is equal to the number of key tokens spent. So, yeah, that's always helpful. Or she has blood in the water. I spend 2 key, and it's an active, and I target something 6 inches away. It's an opposed key test. I can only do once per turn. Don't have somebody in base to base, but that target gains a bleed 1 marker. Helpful if I would be able to take sharks, but I don't. So this is just to be able to throw some damage out and say, I have key to burn, and I feel like burning it on you. Last thing is Fog of Hesitation. This is the one that I probably will use. Choose an enemy model within the pulse. Fog of Hesitation is a 2 dice cost, or 2 key cost, active, pulse 4 inches around her, opposed key test, and you can only do it once per turn. Choose an enemy model within the pulse. It may not be chosen as the active model until all other models in this warband are exhausted. So I pick a model and make sure that I can do all my other stuff before I could get involved with anything. Whether it's their big hitter or it's somebody else, or more importantly, maybe it's somebody I'm engaged with so that way they can't fight back. So I find that target in the back line. I have Minato jump him. He goes and takes 1 attack. Guy pulls 1 activation token out. Now, he can't attack me back because I've done Fog of Hesitation on him. Then somebody else comes in, takes the last activation token, and then it's party. Then the other 2 could just beat the crap out of him. At least that's my thinking. I'm probably wrong. But, again, I'm going more for theme and narrative story because it's a love story.
Yeah.
It's a love story. She's going to clear the zones for her big daddy, Hiroto, the drunken master himself. And now that I've got the model, guess what I'm going to be painting up and then borrowing from Cody so I could run this list and lose horrifically to Brian. But I'll tell a good story, damn it. So Hiroto Drunken Master, in case you are not familiar with him, he is a Ronin model that wasn't exclusive, but now is coming out to general sale. They had him at Adepticon, Gen Con. And my Ninja shopper got him. So what is the Drunken Master, you say? Well, it's Hiroto when he went on a bender over on the mainland and then realized, oh, wait, my clan has been wiped out. I better go home. That's why he's joining the pirates and coming home. Plus, girlfriend. 15 rice cost. He's a samurai. My mind just never stops with these stories. He has a 3 melee pool. So I wish he had 4, but it's cool. He's only 15.
No, he does when he stops drinking.
Yeah,
he does have that problem.
He lost that extra die when he became an alcoholic.
Hit the sauce. He's got a 4 movement. He's got a 3 range. And he's got a 3/6 on his key stat. Oddly enough, he is the most key generator out of the whole party, but there's a catch to that, which we'll talk about in a second. He could boost his melee stat by spending 3 key, or he could boost his range attack by spending 3. I really, really, really wanted to take him with a hand cannon, but he can't take the hand cannon because he's not in the Brotherhood theme.
Right.
No, and he can't
take the Jung one. Because he's Ronin.
It made me sad. He has a dice show, though. +1 melee strength. He gets a charging bonus of Pierce 1, so that's fun. Powerful attack 1, sweep attack 1, sweep defense 1. So he's knocking stuff down left and right in a drunken, angry stupor. He has assassin. He is booted. He has endurance. He has fearless. He can flank. All of those are good things. He's immune to being stunned because he's already drunk. He can't, and his heart's been stolen. So
he basically says, "F you, Grey Pilgrim."
He
right.
does.
No, he doesn't say that because she just still burns it. She's like, okay, you're still burned to a crisp. So, I picture the Great Pilgrim going as the Emperor Palpatine. He's like, well, screw you, Great Pilgrim.
Yeah.
And he dies. He has tough 1, which is good because he has no armor. He has prowess melee 1, and he has vengeance prefecture. So should they be landing on those docks of Ryu, he's going to F up some Ryu. Old school. He has 2 key feats: Dirty Fighting, which is 2 active personal, and basically we've already talked about Dirty Fighting because the fishermen use it. Enemy models cannot declare the use of special attacks or defenses in melee exchanges with this model until the current activation is resolved. Drunk guys don't fight fair.
True.
Enough said. And then he has Stagger, which costs 1, is an instant, and is personal. Model gains range defense 1 and sidestep defense 0 until the end of the current activation. Hooray! I could see me using that a lot. 1, to not get shot, and 2, if I want to swing around and stab somebody in the back, which he's pretty good at because he has Assassin.
And especially generating 3 ki every turn.
Well, but here was where we get to this is the big F you, children, to Drunken Master, is his unique effects. He is a drunkard. That's part of the Drunken Master name. For each victory point scored by this model's warband, so basically it's encouraging me to lose. I think I've built the list to do that. This model gains dodge +1. Okay, so that's a bonus. And -1 to its key stat. When this model's warband scores a VP, remove all the model's key tokens. This model may include this model may be included in any themed warband that includes Eldest Brother. Now, I think Eldest Brother could have joined him, but that would have been too cool.
Yeah, he can join him.
Yeah, but it wouldn't let me choose it on the. It didn't give me that option as part of the warband. But I'll be perfectly honest, I'm totally okay without having Oldest Brother in this one, although he would be fun. I did take some key feat events. I did take some events. So again, he's going to be my flanker. He's going to come in and
should be able to anyway.
Make kind of people pivot a little bit. My Wayne warband goes up, or he'll be teamed up with Korra, and the other 3 are just wreaking havoc with a possible Minato who's just going to jump out of nowhere and beat the living crap out of something with an anchor or spin it around his head and just hit a lot of people. Hibiki could come in and join in the fun, and then Mari's just in the back picking people off and choosing her fights where she wants them. I did take some events. By taking some events, I mean I took 1 event, but I did take it twice. I took Bounty twice, because if you're a conclave of captains that's bringing Hiroto back to Jwar, there's some grudges that are going to be done. They're getting paid to take somebody out, and that represents it by the fact that I'm going to throw out 2 death sentence markers on somebody. They're going to be unique. I'll probably lose it right away, but if Minato can charge them on turn 1 and beat them to death with his anchor, I'll do it.
It's worth it.
Worth it. Yeah, because Minato and Hibiki could both get in there and just put the beat down on something if they really, really wanted to. Mm-hmm. I kept the list compact, so 3. I got 5 models, which means I should be getting some pass tokens. So I could pull off a surprise round 1, but then I'm leaving myself really stretched. Although maybe not as stretched if I have Hiroto Drunken Master flanked and then come in on turn 2 to support them. So that's my Conclave of Captains list. Very thematic, no pun intended, from a narrative standpoint at least. I put a fun story about it. I built it around it. I used what they gave me in the list. Could have I had more Kaizuko in there? Yeah, but I'll be honest. The only benefit to having the Kaizuko in there, aside from the fact that the captains each give bonuses to the Kaizuko, but the theme really doesn't do a whole bunch for them. I might have taken me if I was being more serious. I probably would have taken Korra out and put something else in. I might have taken the lesser Korra. She's at 14. Asami, but that only leaves me with 3 points. So I really can't, unless I'm gonna take a crab. It's
Matter you take like.
I don't want Hiroto to have crabs. The man's already got enough problems as it is.
I would take 3 kamikazes at that point, which would be interesting. Doing swaps around if you did that.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, there's things I could take, but or I take preordained. It's problem solved. It's an easy 3 points to spend. But I again, would I take this to the Grand Masters? Probably not. Would I take it to the Masters and just play it and have a whole shit ton of fun with it?
Absolutely.
I might squeeze in a victory here, or I'll have some tight games, but I'm gonna have fun just playing the story out against my opponents. This is one of those that I'll just have a blast with, and hopefully, do you have all the captains painted up? And do you have
I got everything painted.
You got everything
except Korra. Korra's not painted.
Okay.
Korra, Moyasu, Musa, Taiho, and then one of each of the Kohanen aren't painted yet. I
think if you ever do get Korra painted, by the time I get Drunken Master painted, or I'll just borrow yours, then I might just run that list. That'd be a fun one to take against somebody. And Ryujin's not painted. He's in simple green right now. There you go. Well, I'm not worrying about using Ryujin. Look at that. That's good. We got to get gaming Jason an icon that he could put up there with him going like pimp-like or something.
Yeah.
So that way when he's taking care of Gaming K, he can we could at least see his happy face.
Just insert a picture of Kawa No Rojin.
No, it's okay.
With a big circle and a slash through it.
Yeah.
Like Ghostbusters.
I'm just going to insert Fuku into there as my profile picture.
Oh yeah, I thought you put not Fuku but the Happy Buddha.
Rocky.
Oh, Rocky.
Totally Rocky.
I would, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie. After using Fuku last week at the store and the amounts of flipping, the frustration on my opponent after, even though I lost 2-0.
You did lose 2-0, but it was the most miserable 2-0 victory that person has ever had in their life.
I don't know about that.
He was not happy that entire game, even when he found out he was winning.
Yeah, but I mean, he did play against the villagers.
That's true.
I know, but still, luck was on my
They're
side.
probably the top 2.
I'm wondering why he plays with us at all. We're just assholes. Oh, wait, but it's allowing him to play against me, and then he beats the shit out of me. I hate you two. That's what he is. He's taking out all his rage on me. Thank you so much. You guys are jerks.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, we've gone really long, and we're approaching a time period that I don't want to get to. So
it's paint o'clock now.
It's paint o'clock for Cody. It's time for me to go to bed o'clock. So we want to thank you for listening and enjoying this. Hopefully you got something of use out of this. This was a lot of themes to go over, so we're thanking you for sticking around at least this long, or at least just fast forwarding to the end and listening to our closure on it. If you have any comments or ideas or things like that, please post them. Put them on the YouTube, put them on the Facebook. Let us know your thoughts on this. We are in no way, shape, or form Jung experts. And as you can tell by my conclave list, I kind of just put one that I thought would be cool and fun. Love to hear people's fun list ideas. I'd love to hear your super competitive tough lists, which I think in that case, just go and listen to Bushido Cast. They're really good. For Jung especially.
Yeah.
But we do appreciate the comments. They really are they really give us some guidance on what you guys are thinking and if we're on the right track with things. And if you do bother to throw a comment in, it really is not that hard just to move a little bit up that screen and give us that thumbs up. Let us know that you like it.
I did forget the one Jung list is on Beard. Roll dice, eat rice.
One's on roll dice, eat rice. Probably the rest are on Bushido. Okay.
Yeah, it's the one with the Bushido cast. I think
it's Is it with Craig when he was on Beard? Okay.
Yeah. Just in case people are looking, they're like, I only see one. Yeah, there's one on Bushido Cast, one on Roll Dice.
Roll Dice.
Right.
It's not easy to say at this time of night.
It's a tongue twister.
It especially now. I'll tell you, people, right now, if you are coming into the Bushido game and the Bushido game is picking up new players left and right, you are in a golden time for the game because there is a wealth of content out there, whether it's Bushido Cast, whether it's Roll Dice Eat Rice, whether it's Glory Goals, whether it's us, whether it's
Robot Dice Explosion.
Oh my goodness, I can't. Getting Tabled. All of that has some fantastic. I'll say it's all English because I really can't pronounce the names of the. There's another group that does their battle reports in French, and their boards are absolutely gorgeous. And the games are pretty good too. Several German players. Art over at he's kind of got this whole ball rolling at GwtG. So definitely check out all those other resources. It's well worth it, and most of them are smarter than us.
We're just vocal.
We're just some schlubs.
We just like to cause chaos, and
there's that too.
If I could cause trouble or make a discussion, that's what I'm there for. So, like I said, give us a thumbs up. Let us know we're on the right track. Whether you leave a comment or not, please leave a thumbs up. And if you enjoyed it all and commented and hit the thumbs up, is it really that hard to subscribe? I hope so. I hope not. No, wait. I don't hope so. I hope not. What the hell am I saying? Don't listen to me. Or listen to me. Subscribe. Damn it, subscribe.
I'll stop telling bad jokes.
We're on our push to 300, so that way I could get Gerard Butler's 300 Spartan thing and then superimpose my face on it, so I could finally have a 6-pack for the first time in my life that I don't drink. But we're very, very close. Whether we do a prize giveaway for it or not, I don't know. But I think Cody, me, and Jason are working. Once we get to 300,
we'll actually do a logo.
We may start that competition thing that we're talking for all of our subscribers. I think that will be lots of fun. It'll make watching our battle reports that much more interesting. We'll just
definitely.
So stay tuned for more on that.
It's the competition of terrible jokes.
What
is the best name for a pirate's dog?
Kicho?
Skipper?
Kicho? No.
Patches.
And with that, we will say goodnight to you and thanks for watching and have a great day or evening, wherever you may be. Have a good one.
çaldım Kujezi yok tarazı yok Kujeleri taralılar Öğrenge dedi cümlete
Yes.
Hey,
you come for the dad jokes, you stay for the themes. That's at least what we're hoping.
That's our new slogan.
Yes. I know, Kai, it's okay. It's okay.